This is Monty in the Morning, the show Phoenix Magazine readers voted #1 talk radio show in Arizona.
#1 during your morning commute.
#1 whenever news breaks during your day.
And #1 whenever and wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man, how the heck are you? It is the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. No doubt about it, it's the Advocates at UtahAdvocates.com. A lot to get to today. Again, this hurricane, we have Hurricane Watch 2023.
Donnie Doppler radar is inbound.
Donnie Doppler radar.
Yeah.
What does that even mean? By the way, this storm is crazy. Why do all the major networks feel it is imperative to put their reporters like in the middle of the hurricane track? I've never understood that. Look at that thing. Are you kidding me? Yeah, let's put people out. Let's put human beings out in the middle of nowhere. Donovan Mitchell can't stop talking about the Utah Jazz. And he inferred that Salt Lake City is not a good sports market. Was he right? We'll talk about that. DeAndre Ayton in Phoenix is a mess. BYU's a 23-point favorite. Should BYU football play Utah State every year? You don't even care about that, do you?
Well, I mean, Aggie tears.
Wow, Aggie tears.
Yeah, Aggie
Okay.
tears.
Okay, our friends in Logan, I'm sure, appreciate you.
Probably not.
You know. We'll talk about all that right here on the show, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. But this hurricane's a big deal. I mean, listen, if you're in Florida, if you have friends who are Floridians, I would tell you, hey, be really careful with this thing. This is a big deal. Do you enjoy Hurricane Watch?
Hurricane Watch, the world is ending. I mean, it's always interesting, like, you know, if you put on CNN or Fox or your local news or whatever, you know, whatever your chosen, you know, outlet is, they're going to be here and they're going to be talking about how this hurricane is crazy. And it is crazy. I mean, I think it's incredibly dangerous. And yeah, I guess it kind of like, you know, it's cool to see something this sort of, you know, crazy, I guess. But at the same time, it's also kind of sad. Like you're talking about people's livelihoods essentially just being stripped from them. I mean, people are going to lose their houses. People are going to, you know, like be severely affected by this storm. So I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about it, but I feel like, yeah, it's interesting to watch, but I just feel for those people that live there, man.
I'm always amazed, though, that they send these people out into these situations. And I'm trying to add this picture of this guy from WFLA TV because this is pretty amazing.
I'm gonna get medieval on your ass.
Like, I don't understand this whole thing where you send your reporter, you know, into the abyss of death.
Fire.
Right? Like, I have never understood this. Like, look at this.
Bro,
dude.
where did you find this picture, bro?
I just searched Hurricane Florida coverage. Look at this, bro.
Dude is wearing snowboarding goggles with a weather jacket and a mic. That mic probably isn't going to work in 5 minutes.
WFLA TV, I believe is where this is from. Like, look at this dude.
Look at my guy.
Look at this. He's wearing goggles to cover a
Dude
hurricane.
probably went to college to do weather broadcasting in a booth with a green screen. And they
what
said,
are
nah,
we
bro,
doing?
you're going out in the field with a green jacket, not a green screen.
I don't get it. Like,
Come on now.
I totally don't understand.
Come
like,
on.
do you... Like, do people enjoy watching, like, poor little homie? Like, first of all, what do we imagine this guy's name is? He very much looks...
Brody. It's got to be Brody.
No, his name is Greg. He looks
Greg.
like, let's go to Greg live on the street for Hurricane Watch. Greg, what do you have?
Hey, Claw.
I mean, are you kidding me with this dude? Like, why is he out there?
Oh, my God, dude.
You know, like Monty Chopper 12 out in the hurricane.
Who the f*** is that guy?
What are we doing? Like,
It's a motif at this point, bro. Like, you have to have someone out there getting just, you know, pounded by a storm, I feel like.
Yes, Kyle J. Kyle J's like, that dude is questioning his career choices.
what I
Yes,
mean?
he is.
Come on.
Yes, he is. You know, like, come on. M. Shepard says Greg isn't live. He's in a shower with a green screen. Unbelievable. And hey, Butthead, Your name is Hey Butthead.
Nice.
Says it's fake.
Okay.
It's fake. Oh, come on, man. It's not fake. By the way, Justin Salas points out you're wearing your Tiger Woods outfit today.
Yep, I'm on that vibe today. We got meetings. We got things to do today, so I had to wear power colors.
You know, we got big things to do. All right. Well, there you go. Look at James Knight.
Yes.
Saying the exact same
Sunday
thing.
red, baby.
You're wearing your Sunday best.
Sunday best.
Which I think is amazing.
Let's go.
The Monty Show, again, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. The biggest story in sports this morning, I think without doubt, is that Donovan Mitchell cannot stop talking about the Utah Jazz.
Right.
I don't really understand this. And here's the question straight away. When Don comes back, does he get booed? I think he is earning boos. Like, he just will not stop talking about how the Utah Jazz have failed, how, they didn't get it done. He said, I'm going to play this bite here where Donovan Mitchell talks about how he was not in good enough shape to play defense.
A lot of it, like you just said, is, I don't have to do as much offensively, so I'm able to lock in, on those possessions, and I'm not tired, not as tired. Getting in better shape to be able to play both sides of the ball. It's not the ability. I can play defense. I know that for a fact, and I haven't shown that, and that's what I'm looking forward to do here.
So wait, you're telling me, Don, that you weren't in good enough shape to play defense? You're telling me that you only, were in good enough shape to play one end of the floor, and then
the inference
you were tired.
Dude, the inference is, what he's saying there, the inference is that, hey, in Utah, because again, he didn't say it, but if you listen carefully, and we have other bites where he specifically mentions Utah, but this one I thought was interesting because he doesn't specifically say Utah, but what he's essentially saying is that, hey, in the past, I've been too tired to play defense because I've carried such a load offensively because other guys, just couldn't get their own bucket. It was basically me and everybody else. I was involved in every offensive play, which I don't necessarily disagree with 100%, but to say that you weren't in shape enough to play defense is a little ridiculous considering the tape you've put out defensively. I mean, the guy, with all due respect to Donovan, because I love his game, I love what he brings to the table, you just weren't trying on defense. I mean, you can flat out see that. So I don't know, man. That particular clip, I was just like, look, man, you're beating around the bush. You should just come right out and say, yeah, I had to carry the load offensively. Those guys couldn't get their own, and I was tired. Just come out and say it and stop beating around the bush. That's what that clip kind of left me feeling.
Well, what I would say is don't come out and say it at all.
Don't say it at all. Yeah,
I don't understand why are you talking about this? And maybe this is just me, but I don't understand why Donovan Mitchell has to say this stuff. Like this other bite that I'm going to play. I mean, he loves to say, "Oh, we didn't get it done in Utah."
I've made it to the playoffs every year. Ultimately, I haven't gotten to the end goal, and that's what I'm looking to do here. I think, and my goals align with our team's goals, which makes it easier. But for me, it's no secret I haven't won. I haven't won. We didn't win in Utah. We didn't get the job done as a group. So now that I'm here in Cleveland, that's the goal. It's not just to make the playoffs, but to go deep into the playoffs.
And listen, I don't think that that's dishonest. I don't think it's disingenuous. But he has said that, 50 times?
Yeah, I mean, he said it repeatedly.
I mean, I feel like that is Donovan Mitchell taking a shot at the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
And if it was just once or twice, or he said that repeatedly.
Or maybe if a reporter had asked you a certain question that kind of warranted that type of answer, I could kind of understand it. But, the big thing here is that I feel like there's a lot of bitterness on both sides. If you keep up with the Twitter tea leaves, you'll see that there are several reporters in this town who are talking about, retweeting that first clip about Donovan talking about defense and saying that this is the annual procedural press conference where Donovan says he's going to play defense every year, or Donovan doing what Donovan's doing. It just seems like there's a certain level of bitterness around the whole situation. And I'm just here to say that Donovan didn't win here, but he made the playoffs every year. So for Jazz fans and for the media, I kind of have a tough time crucifying this guy or hating on this guy or, taking this guy through the gutter when he took you to the playoffs every year of his career so far. I have trouble with that. And so to me, my issue here is that Donovan just is on this campaign, it feels like. He's on this sort of marketing campaign. I guess I don't know how else you say it. He's on this narrative where He just wants to point out it didn't get done in Utah, and now he's in Cleveland, and it's going to get done. And my biggest thing is, hey, if you're going to say all this, you have to back it up on the defensive end, man. You got to show it.
I feel like the dysfunction in the relationship with Donovan Mitchell and the media hastened his departure. I feel like specifically, the beat writers around this team treated him with so much disrespect that I think it made it easy for him to want out. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was interesting that he said, what he was asked about Media Day in Cleveland, and he was really surprised how many people showed up to Media Day. Donovan said that didn't happen in Utah.
Yeah.
The media, and I know that we talk about this a lot on this show, but I'm telling you, the media in Salt Lake City is damaging Salt Lake City. The media that covers, specifically the Utah Jazz, I think Ute media, I think BYU media does a lovely job.
Yeah.
I think the media that covers the Utah Jazz is doing damage to the product. I think the media that covers the Utah Jazz did damage to Donovan Mitchell and really forced him out of Salt Lake City. I think the disrespect, I think the consistent fabrication of stories about him, I think the consistent narratives about him, this whole thing about Don every year saying that he'll play defense and he never does. You're not writing about the game. You're not writing about his performance. You made it, the media specifically. You guys made it personal with Donovan Mitchell, and it forced him out of Salt Lake City. I don't think there's any other way to look at that.
Yeah.
When you make up stories, when you straight fabricate stories about Don, what do you think is going to happen? And I look at what Donovan continues to say, and I think it feels like a redemption tour.
Totally.
For Donovan Mitchell. That's what this feels like. And I want to play it again because I think it's a really important bite, but I listen to him talking about being in shape and playing two ways, and it feels like almost like he's trying to prove a point here.
A lot of it, like you just said, is I don't have to do as much offensively. So I'm able to lock in, on those possessions, and I'm not tired, as tired. Getting in better shape to be able to play both sides of the ball. It's not the ability. I can play defense. I know that for a fact, and I haven't shown that, and that's what I'm looking forward to do here.
I haven't shown that. I agree, you haven't shown that. But when he says, I don't have to do as much offensively, what do you take from that?
I just take it as a subtle, hey, I had to carry the ball and carry the load in Utah, so I was tired defensively, which, again, I don't 100% disagree with that notion. The guy was
Don
offense,
and everybody else.
like Don and everybody else. I don't disagree with what he's saying. What I disagree with is just that you continue to keep talking about Utah. Like I would, if I was Donovan, I would be focused on Cleveland. I would be saying, hey, we've got a lot of great talent here. I'm super excited. I'd just be ultra positive on your current situation. That's how I would handle it. Because the truth is, and we all see this all the time, hey, they're going to ask you a question, but you can basically answer it however you want to answer it. I mean, we see that regularly in whether it's politics, sports, interviews, whatever the case may be. So to me, I'm just hey, there's no need for you to do this. There's no need for you to speak on Utah anymore. If I'm Donovan, if you want it out so bad, because it kind of feels that way, he did really want out. If you want it out so bad, just let the past be the past. Let it be water under the bridge. Let it be done with. And focus on being an all-star in a different city. Focus on being, becoming one of the best two-way point guards or shooting guards in the league. And handle your business. Because honestly, if Donovan Mitchell does not perform this season or does not have a 25, 30 points a night and contributing big time on defense, there will be questions asked, and that's just the reality he's in.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of those things where you have to I think it's going to be tough for Don to let this go, and this goes back to why I don't think he necessarily was desperate to get out of Salt Lake City.
Right.
I don't. I think that Donovan welcomed to change. I think it's very much like Rudy Gobert. I think Rudy welcomed to change. The locker room had become toxic.
Yeah.
And I think you needed wholesale changes. I don't think you needed to trade Don, but now that you did, I think the media has done such a hit piece on Donovan Mitchell since, he since he got here, essentially.
Well, and I think back to the Dallas thing with the bench, or like the CAA stuff, or there. I mean, there have been numerous examples. I'm not trying to point anyone out specifically. Like, I'm tired of that conversation. But I do agree, the media like in any city, you have a certain responsibility to do your job the right way. Like imagine the Brooklyn media behaving the way the Salt Lake media does with Kevin Durant, or with Kyrie, or with whoever. Like, you would have big time problems.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep, hammering this point home, that Donovan should stop talking about Utah and should just move forward with it.
Right, but we shouldn't have to go to The Athletic. We shouldn't have to go to Woj. We shouldn't have to go to all these other national outlets, ESPN included, to get Jazz news, to get inside information. But the problem is you don't have a local media that covers that team effectively, and I think it's very clear. Hey, what's up, Marlon Shaw in Florida? He says, update from Florida, getting close to hurricane force winds at the house. Had first power bumps just a little bit ago, hoping I keep power through your show. Dude.
Bro.
Be cool, man.
I appreciate you watching the show.
And thanks for the $10 tip, man. Like, that's crazy.
Man.
Thank you.
Just please be careful, bro. Can you put the radar back up real quick for all the people who just joined? Like, this hurricane is absolutely positively gnarly. Like, I don't know. I don't know how Floridians do it sometimes. Like, these hurricanes are just crazy. Like, that is literally swallowing your entire state, bro. Like, it's over.
Well, if you look at the eye of the storm, that big yellow with red, right off the Gulf Coast, it's going to make landfall today. And it's going to be gnarly. Like, you look at that Gulf Coast, it's going to be catastrophic. I mean, it's a Category 4 hurricane. Miami is dealing with incredible flooding this morning.
Yeah.
You look at Nassau, the Bahamas. You look at Havana, which, Cuba's entire electric grid collapsed under the weight of the storm. Like, Marlon and everybody else in Florida, please be cool, man. Like, this is a very dangerous situation. And I know that Floridians are tough folks and they deal with this on a regular basis. Just please be careful, man.
Yeah.
I wish nothing but the best for you guys. It's tough. M. Shepard says, do we have a media in Salt Lake City? Who or what is our media? Well,
excellent question.
I think that is a very good question. I think when you look at the core media here, radio is irrelevant in this town. Quite honestly, radio is irrelevant. And I think when you look at sports in particular, you look at the sports landscape in Salt Lake City. One of the things that Donovan Mitchell started was this conversation about, is Salt Lake City a major sports town?
Yeah.
And, I would tell you it is. I've lived in a lot of places in my career. From Los Angeles to San Francisco, Chicago. Like, it's not any of those. But I can tell you right now, Salt Lake City is St. Louis. Salt Lake City is a bigger sports town than Sacramento.
San Diego?
It's a bigger sports town than San Diego. Absolutely. You look at the passion in the fan base for BYU and Utah. You look at the passion in the fan base for the Jazz. You look at the passion in the fan base for, RSL. Yeah, I mean, those clubs are all massively supported. Having worked around the Utah Grizzlies, like they have a small but mighty fan base. This is a pretty good sports town from a fan perspective. The issue with the media is that nobody here is in a position to ask real questions. Like Donovan Mitchell going to Cleveland, he's getting a completely different media experience than he had in Salt Lake. He has mentioned it 2 or 3 times that real questions get asked, that there were actually people at Media Day. One of the things we talked about yesterday was the debacle that was Utah Jazz Media Day.
Right.
And the fact that they had white noise and you couldn't hear the interviews. And a lot of listeners were like, well, Media Day, what's Media Day? Who cares? Media Day is a big deal. It is the day where all of the members of the media come out and get their headshots and talk to the players and do interviews, because you don't get that on a regular basis. Here in Salt Lake, it's a very small event for the Jazz. I can tell you, having been at Laker Media Day, Sacramento Kings Media Day, having been at Warriors Media Day, like having covered the NBA for 25 years, Chicago Bulls Media Day, they're big, big events. Everybody shows out. At Utah Jazz Media Day, it's a very small event. And the bigger issue is, it's much like BYU. The church controls the media in this town.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bottom line. And when you look at the Salt Lake Tribune, the issue is that they're small, they're not well-funded, and they absolutely positively play to the Jazz. They need the Jazz. They're desperate for the Jazz help in covering the team.
Yeah.
And so when you have the issues that they've had with their writers, it undermines their ability to cover the team.
Facts.
And so you get people like KSL who get unprecedented access to BYU. They get unprecedented access to the Utah Jazz, and it really shuts everybody else out. The problem is you never get the truth from anybody. You don't know. For instance, a Brant Keithy knee injury.
For instance,
how are we, and I don't even say this arrogantly, and I don't know, you guys can correct us, how have we been leading the news cycle on the Utah Jazz for over a year?
Yeah.
We're just, remember what Spence Checkett said, we're just those hacks on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we don't have sources, and we don't know anybody. How have we been running circles around people sourcing information in this town for over a year?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It's incredible. It's because the media is not active. It's because, like, sports radio in this town is an absolute debacle.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's brutal. Like talking to, we were talking to some people we know in sports here the other day. They don't listen to sports radio here. They listen to national radio. They listen to radio in their hometowns, which is exactly what I do.
And I think to that point, like, I think the reason for that is because, like, sports radio undervalues how smart a listener is. Like, a listener, like for everyone listening to this show, how many, are you today? How many of you are there today? Like, the several hundred of you that usually are here regularly, like, you guys know what's good conversation and what's bad conversation, or like what's good conversation and what's just sort of meandering conversation. And my biggest struggle is we listen to sports radio here because we like to pay attention. And every day I'm dumbfounded by the fact that it just feels like people in this town show up and think that's good enough. Well, I'm just going to show up today and I'm just going to roll up to the show, or I'm going to roll up to jazz practice or whatever, whatever your task is for the day, and just kind of do it. And that's the problem. People take their opportunities for granted. And that's why I think we're in the position we're in with Jazz Media, because I would love nothing more. Frankly, it would be great for this show if there was a dynamic, like, get to it, nails beat writer on the Jazz. It would be great for us because then you would get even more detail. You would get, like, if you go and go into any other town on the internet, go find, like, the beat writer of the Warriors or whoever, whatever winning basketball team, you will get, like, really in-depth detail without opinion, because beat writers aren't supposed to be writing opinion pieces. They're supposed to be covering the team and just being that bridge to you.
Beat writers are supposed to be reporting the news around that team. Your columnists are the ones that are supposed to be giving you opinion.
Yes.
But I think Garcia makes a really good point. The church runs the media, sports, school, and the courts in this town. I don't disagree with that.
That's totally true.
And it's nothing against the church, but that's not a good way to be a sports fan. That's not a good way to be somebody trying to get news. I mean, the preeminent media outlet in Utah is KSL. Period. Full stop. That's it. KSL is the media outlet here. TV, radio, online. They're the outlet here. When you want Jazz coverage, I don't know where you go. I honestly, I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
not to be arrogant, but here, I think.
I mean, if you look at we have 130,000 listeners a month on this show. Unique listeners every month on this show.
In the state.
That's crazy. 130,000 people a month in Utah. Individual, that's called unique. Unique viewers a month on this channel.
Yeah.
Watch this show. And it's incredible to me that that's where people have to go. I don't know. Just to get back to this Donovan Mitchell thing, I think there's going to be a lot of backlash for Don. Honest to goodness, I think he is in for a very rough ride. I do. I think it's going to be very difficult for Donovan Mitchell to come back here and feel good about it.
Yeah. No,
honest to God.
I agree.
We'll get back to Don and the Jazz here in 5 minutes, but right now it's football at 50, 10 to the hour. Every hour, we give you nothing but the biggest headlines in NFL and college football, presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza. Get online, get the app at Papa Murphy's Pizza. I cannot wait.
Yes.
For Monday's show. Because then we can tell you what
Dude,
Papa
Monday,
Murphy's...
I'm just telling you, Monday is going to be popping on this show. Like, we got Papa Murphy's. We got all kinds of stuff
adding
coming.
a major new sponsor
One
to the show on
that you
Monday.
guys will be able to use, like, daily.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And then Monday, we can start talking about what Papa Murphy's is doing for Halloween.
Dude, it's crazy.
It is incredible. I think the biggest story in sports right now, as far as football goes, this college football playoff committee meeting yesterday, where they were talking about expanding the college football playoff as early as 2024.
Yeah.
They came out with no answer on that, and they are going to meet again today. And then in October, they will have another meeting. And in between that time, they will have video meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe this doesn't get done next season. I would really in 2 seasons. I would be really surprised if it didn't expand in 2024.
Yeah, and I think the conversation isn't, hey, should we expand or like how we're going to expand. I think the conversation is how does college football playoff expansion affect conference realignment and how can we maximize that opportunity? Because if you open it up too soon, then the competitiveness level kind of comes down a little bit. You're letting more people into the playoff. And you're missing, like with the Big Ten as an example. The Big Ten puts together this deal, right? If you had already expanded, it wouldn't feel like as big of a deal. But if you wait and all this expansion and TV rights stuff goes down, then the playoff expands. Now there's this continued cycle of excitement. And I think that's what they're trying to figure out is like, when is it? Should we do 2020? Should we do 23-24? Or should we do 24-25? That's what I think they're trying to hammer out here.
Yeah, I think you got to do 2024. And I frankly, my opinion is at the end of the day, you need 16.
Yeah.
But 12's a pretty good place to start.
It's definitely an improvement. I mean, I think we all are tired of Alabama and Georgia being half the college football playoff. I think that is what a college football fan is tired of. Like, we get it. Those are the 2 best teams in the country. Totally understand it.
But, I mean, you could put Ohio State in there every year, right? I mean,
okay. So
and listen,
we know
it's the Big Ten. Yeah, it's the Big Ten. You've earned that. But I think you're right. It's Alabama, Georgia, and now Ohio State every year in the college football playoff. And you feel like you're very limited to who you're going to get to see. And I think when you have 12 teams, it won't be uncommon to see a G5 team.
Yeah.
It won't be uncommon to see, a Boise. It won't be uncommon to see a San Diego State, depending on what conference they end up in. That's what college football needs. You need more access to the lower level teams to, in my opinion, to balance out the college football playoff. It is really, in my mind, that's a critical piece of the college football playoff. It truly is. By the way, we are still on hurricane watch, and it is impacting a lot of sports. You look at the Tom Terrifics, because Miami plays in Cincinnati tomorrow night. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are currently with their families in Miami, working out at the Dolphins facility. I mean, look at the size of this storm.
Yeah, dude.
Look at Nassau, the Bahamas. Look at Havana, who was pounded by this storm as a Cat 3 hurricane, knocked out the entire power grid in Cuba. This storm is huge, dude.
Yes.
And we're moving college football games. My question is, why don't we just cancel those games? Do you have to?
I guess TV money. I guess I would guess it comes down to money. I don't know. I mean, I think that
I would guess.
I think there's a certain line, and we're not close to that line. Like, I think they will exhaust all opportunities. We'll move teams. We'll move games. We'll do whatever we have to do to be able to play the game. And I tend to agree. Like, why wouldn't we just delay it or something? But then that's scheduling conflicts, and it's football, and you can't play 2 games in 1 week, and it just so that's why I feel like they have to just force it almost.
Well, and what I'm going to do is force you to use the promo code Monty25 when you order your Papa Murphy's pizza.
No one goes all in on made-from-scratch freshness like Papa Murphy's. We go all in on quality, all in on craft. And on the Triple Pep Pizza, we go all in on pepperoni. Because when you go all in, people notice. Go all in with a limited-time Triple Pep Pizza, topped with 3 types of pepperoni for just $11.99. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Indeed. Use the promo code Monty25 to make sure you get that pizza of your dreams. Again,
Yes.
next week it's going to be crazy what Papa Murphy's is doing. And, knowing the local owners here of all the Papa Murphy's, and yeah, Papa Murphy's is a national brand, obviously, but we deal with the local owners here in Salt Lake City. And talking to one of the guys, like, they get excited about the pizza promotions that they do. And I'm super excited about their October promotion. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's see. Yes, SDSU says special announcement Monday. Papa Murphy's is giving out plastic orange pumpkins too. Will chocolate chip cookie dough be inside? That would be amazing. Can you imagine the take and bake chocolate chip cookie dough being in a pumpkin?
That would be incredible.
Oh my God.
Absolutely incredible.
That would be Papa Murphy's Pizza. And really, you guys support small business, please. You know that all the people we work with, just like the people at Papa Murphy's, they're small business owners. These guys, they're not national chains. They are small people that are franchise owners. And we know a good number of the franchise owners here in Salt Lake City for Papa Murphy's. And they are all local people in your community, and they give back so much, and we try not to mention them by name, but, just talking to Jared at the local guy at the Papa Murphy's that we shop at, he was talking about how his family has owned Papa Murphy's back to his days in college. And like, they're just really cool stories like that. So please support local business. Eric and Raleigh says pumpkin pizza. How about pumpkin spice pizza?
Yeah.
Exactly, Court. Look at Court McMullen. It's a pumpkin spice pizza.
Facts.
Exactly right. Exactly right. What is that? Everybody down there is talking about in Florida with this hurricane, as it is 7:00 on the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. I'm telling you, this thing in Florida is a big deal.
It's real. It's Cat 5 now. I think it says.
Yeah, it's going to be 155 miles an hour.
Bet you weren't expecting this one.
155 mile an hour winds for Hurricane Ian in Florida. It is a Category 4, but it is just short of a Category 5. And they're saying that it is about to hit Tampa. And of course, again, just because I think it's interesting, we get this guy all day today. We get this bro all day long.
Yeah, just standing out there getting pounded, bro.
Man, and we're looking at, obviously we have TV on in the background here. We're looking at the live radar shot, and all the red, the power of this storm
is gnarly.
And the crazy thing is, it's not just like the eye of the hurricane. And this is why, hey, God bless Floridians.
Yeah.
God bless you. Because Florida, man, you knew this was coming, because it's only a matter of time, right?
Yes.
But if you look at what's called the storm surge, which is all of the rain around the eye of the hurricane, like all the branches of rain that push off the storm.
Yes.
You look at the Bahamas right now, they're underwater, dude. Like, they are just getting dumped on.
Lit.
By the outer rings of this hurricane. You look at what happened in Havana last night, where their power, they're saying their power is going to be out for weeks.
Yeah, man.
In Cuba.
Yeah, I mean, and again,
Unbelievable.
that's the thing about, like, dude, the islands down there that are south of Florida, all of them, I feel for those people, because you don't come back from that type of thing. Like, it's going to take a long time, man.
Yeah, I mean, Cuba, Haiti, all of the Caribbean islands are just absolutely getting crushed. So,
yeah, man.
Hey, man, if you're in Florida, buckle up. Let's hope that we pass the time a little more quickly for you here on the show. If you're wherever you are, we'd love to hear from you guys on Donovan Mitchell this morning on the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. We tell you every day on this show, if you've been in an accident, whether that's a car accident, a motorcycle accident, riding a scooter, maybe somebody hit you, a slip and fall, an injury at work. Hey, listen, you didn't deserve to get injured, man. But what you do deserve is somebody to fight for you. Somebody, and I hope that you hear me on this. When you get in a car accident, don't deal with the insurance company on your own.
Yeah.
You're giving your money away. And the Advocates are the absolute industry experts. I've known Matt Driggs and the guys at the Advocates for 10 years. They've supported this show. They are local Utah attorneys that know the market. They know the laws in Utah. Do not deal with the insurance companies on your own, because all they do is try to pay you as little or nothing when you get into a car accident. Let the experts at the Advocates handle that for you so you can rest, you can get healthy. They'll defer your medical bills. There's no, big retainers or your consultation, like all these lawyers charging for consultations. No, that's not the way it works at the Advocates. Get online, chat with them, UtahAdvocates.com. You don't pay them until they win your case. That's how confident they are that they're going to win for you. You don't pay them unless and until they win at the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. The biggest stories in sports this morning. Obviously, this hurricane in Florida is something we're keeping a very close eye on. It has relocated over a dozen athletic contests, including the including the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's a real good chance they're not going to be able to play at Raymond James.
Yeah.
South Florida has moved their game out of Tampa. The Tampa Bay Bucks have taken all of their players and the players' families to Miami to ride out this storm, because when you look at this, where this hurricane is tracking and what it is doing right now, you'll notice that Miami seems to be through the worst of it now. Yesterday, we saw manhole covers floating off of the ground.
Bro, they just said the storm surge is 12 to 16 feet.
Oh, my God.
Bro, you're done, dude. Like, I don't even know what you do.
The National Weather Service is reporting 155 mile per hour winds, just short of a Category 5. So
Dude.
You understand why they're moving all this stuff. But yeah, this is a big deal. And in Garcia, you're right. Haiti always seems to be getting crushed by something.
Yes.
I mean, it is that is a very, very, very difficult country. It's nutty. Let's see. San Diego State says, meant to say Boise State fired their OC. They did. Did you guys see? And I hate quarterbacks that transfer. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But their quarterback transferred, like Dirk Cutter's now the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach there. Like,
yeah, the program is in transition, to be nice about it.
Yep. Rants on the Jazz says, best case scenario is 20 wins, number one pick. Jazz don't have a point guard. Some good pieces, though. Sexton, Lowry, Beasley, and Vanderbilt. I think you're going to see Sexton have the ball in his hands an awful lot on this team.
Yeah.
And I was talking to an NBA source that I know pretty well last night, and he was saying that the Lakers and Jazz are still heavily engaged in trade talks. So I would not be surprised to see another deal before training camp breaks. It is surprising to me that Malik Beasley and Mike Conley are still on this team.
Yeah, and Conley is the one for me where I'm just like, what are we doing? I mean, there's no, like, we can spin this off as Mike provides leadership and he's a veteran voice on the team and that the team needs him. The fact is you just haven't moved him yet. Like, that to me is what we're looking at with Mike Conley. And JC, on the other hand, I can kind of see why JC would be valuable to this team. He's still a young gun kind of guy. He still gets up and down really quick. Like, he can fit in with what they're trying to do. So, I don't know, man. I just think it's only a matter of time for Mike, if I'm being honest about that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think it's one of those things where it's not if Mike Conley gets traded.
Yeah.
Mike's going to get traded. I mean, he was talking the other day. I can't remember where we heard him talking. It might have been ESPN. I saw the bite on where he was talking about how, hey, my family is staying in Salt Lake City no matter what.
No, I was on the radio.
My wife loves it. My kids are in school. They're entrenched. I don't know if it was a slip, but he almost said, when I get traded. And he was like, well, when, if I wind up it was like, oh, so you're getting traded.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's inevitable.
I mean, his game, and again, it's no slight to Mike. It's just, it's time to move him. It's been time, it's time to go, man.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's anything that is an indictment on Mike. It's just where this franchise is right now. But I also want to talk about this idea of the number one pick. The Utah Jazz will not end up with the number one pick. The hill to climb to get there is incredibly steep.
Mm-hmm.
I also think you have several organizations' number one picks, Walker Kessler, Agbaji. Like, you have all of these high draft picks on your roster already. And I think when you look at everybody's like, Wembanyama is the guy you want. And it's like, no, he's not. I mean, that kid, and everybody's putting out this tape now where, he's out playing exhibitions and he's going to play the G League Ignite tonight. And is he a good player? Yes, he is. It's when, not if, he gets hurt. I mean, he is, what is he, 7'2"?
And here's my thing with...
He's like 146 pounds.
Yeah, he's a stick. I mean, he's super tall. The thing that people get excited about is he has touch. He can handle. He can move a little bit.
Shoot.
Like, he can shoot. Like, he's got skills. But I think what no one's talking about, and this is unbelievable to me, nobody's talking about the fact that he's playing against kids. Nobody's talking about the fact that he's not playing against Zion Williamson or LeBron or the best talent in the world. Because I got news for you. You're going to go and try and get the number 1 overall pick, and then against the Lakers, he's going to get lit up. Against the Pelicans, against any established NBA talent, he's not dominating them, right? Like, he will get blocks. He will make plays. He will definitely have a good NBA career. I'm not doubting that. But let's stop saying that this guy is the second coming of Kevin Durant, because he's not. I'm just telling you, he's not. He's not that athletic. He is big. He will dominate centers in the NBA, but my biggest concern is, A, injury, but B, he's not playing against anybody who's as strong as him or as fast as him. That's the problem. So when he tries to do this whole, this back down and then spin to the baseline against a guy who can hang defensively on the block, you think that he's going to get away with that? You think that he's just going to be able to do whatever he wants? No, dude, he's not. That's not how this league works. Look at Giannis. Look at Giannis's path. Giannis came into this league without a jump shot, just as a pure athlete. And now what's he done? He had to build his body. He had to put on all this muscle. He had to learn how to shoot. So what is he, probably 5 or 6 seasons in now, whatever it's been? Now he's an MVP caliber player, and that's what I'm saying about VW. He's going to have to put on muscle and learn how to play with finesse, because he's not going to be a guy that's going to bang with guys or be real physical. And I'm just simply saying that NBA defenses, especially bigs, are going to know that, and they're going to use physicality to get in his head. So he's going to have to figure that out.
I don't know. How long has Giannis been elite? Like, probably 5 years now?
Yeah.
I mean, this is, I want to say he's going into his 9th full season in the NBA, and he was drafted in 2013, I want to say. Like, I would guess he's been elite for 5 years. He's really been the best player in the NBA in that conversation.
He got drafted in 2013.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably been in the best player in the world probably the last 2 years, especially since the championship. But
he took him a big jump.
It took him 5-6 years to become a legitimate force in the NBA, something other than a downhill dunker. And I think guys like VW, the road is very long, because you're not going to be as athletic as the 3-4 combo guys that this league is putting out right now. You're not going to be. He's not going to be Kevin Durant. And I that's why I say, like, for all these Jazz fans, and I guess this is a question I would ask NBA fans: do you want the Utah Jazz? Do you want your club to have the number 1 pick to get VW? Because I don't.
Yeah.
Like, as a Bulls fan, I can tell you that would not be good for us.
You understand how bad you have to be to get the number 1 overall pick?
Well,
like, do you understand how much pain you got to go through?
And now with all the pick swaps and all the trades that have happened, like, it's just such a long road. The chance that the Utah Jazz are the worst team in the NBA this year, I think, is slight. But I also think this Mike Conley trade is a big one. I think the Lakers and Jazz will make a trade before the season starts. I do. I look at what the Jazz have. I think Malik Beasley is a very valuable chip. You're not in position now to get 2 first-round picks from the Lakers. And I think that the Jazz were in position to make that happen. I was told a week ago, before the Bojan trade happened, that they had those 2 first-round picks. We talked about that on the show, that the Jazz had 2 first-round picks from the Lakers, but the Lakers needed to go and find a third team, because I really don't think that the Jazz had an appetite to take on significant salary.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get under the luxury tax threshold, which they clearly did by giving Bojan Bogdanovic away to the Pistons.
And that's frustrating. I've thought about that a lot, and initially I was like, man, is uttering the words, hey, they gave Bojan away, is that too harsh? But then you look at the deal and you're like, yeah, they basically gave him away. And now the news comes out yesterday that the day the trade happened, as soon as the trade was finalized and executed, all 3 of those guys, Danny, Justin, and Will, all called Kelly Olynyk. That's how excited they are about Kelly Olynyk. So I don't know, man. I think that Danny and those guys like Kelly, but I didn't love the idea that you essentially wasted an opportunity to add another pick. Because if we're going to burn it down, which is basically what they've done and like transform the organization back into a young and gun, we're just going to play fast and entertaining basketball for a year kind of team. If you're going to do that, at least get your money's worth. Like at least get, as the saying goes, get the juice for the squeeze, right? Like make sure, you know what I mean? Like if you're going to give guys away
that.
Here, like
listen. Anna Victor Wambin, your mama. Do you think the juice is worth the squeeze here? Victor Wambin, your mama.
It's pretty damn good.
Victor Wambin in your mama, like he's a good player. Anyway, the point is, I love is the juice worth the squeeze?
Right?
Like it's been way too long since we've talked about trydaytrading.com/Monty on this show. I mean, all of our Jazz coverage on the Monty Show is presented by our good friends at trydaytrading.com/Monty. Look, get off the hamster wheel looking for your side hustle. It's over. We got it. It's done. It's Try Day Trading. You have got to try day trading.
See what he did there? Try day trading, but then you have to try day trading.
Like you day trading is a legitimate, lucrative opportunity for you, especially where the markets are now. The rebound of the market, which listen, you and I both know. I was talking to my money guy last night. We were talking about strategies in the market. He said, "Be patient. You and I both know where this is going."
Yeah.
And when you own long-term stocks, like you're not going to day trade Amazon, right? But there are real, legitimate equity opportunities in the market on a daily basis. Go back to AMC. Go back to GameStop. Go back to Doge to the moon, bro.
Doge to the moon.
Like when you look at those situations, people made money, and then there were everybody else who was sitting on the sideline watching. Stop watching and start making money for your family. Start making money for yourself so that you're not grinding that 9 to 5 for somebody else. Because again, I will just tell you, your paycheck that you get every 2 weeks, yeah, man, that's the drug they give you to make you forget about your dreams. Stop forgetting about your dreams. Start prioritizing your dreams at trydaytrading.com/Monty, trydaytrading.com/Monty. It's free, no obligation. It's a webinar. You watch it and you make a decision. You go to trydaytrading.com/Monty and you watch the webinar and you make the decision, do I want to work for myself or do I want to keep giving away my taxes? Do I want to keep giving away the best days of my life to my employer? Don't do that anymore, man. Work for yourself. Do what we did. Be brave. Take the leap. Get to trydaytrading.com/Monty and work for yourself, because the guys at Try Day Trading are so confident that they can teach you, coach you, mentor you into being a prolific day trader that they allow you to trade with their money. Your first trades, you learn to day trade at a high level with Try Day Trading's money, not your own. And if you make money with their money, they're going to give you 50% of the profit on that. That's how confident they are that they're going to make you a great day trader. They're going to let you trade with their money. And then when you're trading with your own money, you still get mentoring. You still get coaching, because the guys at Try Day Trading, by the way, another local company partnering with the Monty Show.
Yes.
They are in Lehigh. Ryan and the guys at Try Day Trading, just fantastic guys to do business with. But don't take our word for it. Watch the free webinar. trydaytrading.com/Monty. It's free. Register. Watch it at trydaytrading.com/Monty. Tell me you heard about it on the Monty Show. Oh, by the way, all of our Jazz coverage on this show is presented by trydaytrading.com/Monty. All right, let's get your thoughts in here. M. Shepard says, Lori looks like a brick house and can handle with grace. I think that boy has potential.
He does. He does.
I thought you were going somewhere else when you said brick house. Thankfully, you did not. M. Shepard also says, Jazz need to look at a kid out of Duke or Scoot. Well, I think there is depth. And it's funny you talk about, somebody was talking about that 2013 draft. You guys realize that's one of the worst drafts in the history of the NBA. I want to say, and I think it's Anthony Bennett's draft. Where is that? Right here. Anthony Bennett, 1. Victor Oladipo, 2.
Yeah.
Otto Porter, 3. Cody Zeller, Jazzman, 4. Alex Len, Nerlens Noel, Ben McLemore, Tavius, Caldwell Pope, 8.
Bro.
Trey Burke. Trey Burke. Utah Jazz. Bust. Trey Burke, number 9. CJ McCollum, legitimate superstar player.
Yeah.
Not superstar, legitimate star player. CJ McCollum. Michael Carter-Williams, bust. Steven Adams. Kelly Olynyk, Jazz man.
Because it's garbage.
Shabazz Muhammad, drafted by the Utah Jazz.
Because it's garbage.
And then who is drafted 15th?
I'm a man.
Giannis Ante your mama. I mean, there's one legitimate superstar in that draft.
Yeah.
By the way, Rudy Gobert was drafted and traded to the Jazz at 27 that year. Trey Burke was drafted and traded to the Jazz at 9 that year. Like, that draft is a disaster.
Yeah, dude, it's one of the worst drafts ever. And I get tired of, hey, we need to try to get the number 1 overall pick. Hey, we need to suck on the floor to try to get talent in the draft.
Yeah.
Do you not know who's driving the car right now?
Yep.
Like, I need people to understand this. Danny Ainge is not a draft guy. Danny Ainge is a fleece other organizations and turn their value into the guy I want. That's what he does.
True. He's a buyer.
That's what he does. And so to me, I just think, you know, the VW thing, it's just tired. Like, with all due respect, I'm kind of done with it because I know for a fact they're not tanking to get the number 1 overall pick. What they're doing is cutting salary to get under the luxury tax threshold so they don't have to pay luxury tax, so they can save some money. And then what they're going to do is they're going to develop, and they're basically saying, hey, we got one of the best talents in the NBA, Will Hardy, to coach our team. We've got David Fizdale in the developmental department to coach these guys up because we know that's been a struggle, as the 2013 draft has like 10 examples of. And we're going to try and make this team better. That's what we're trying to do.
Ben says, Monty, did you just say Victor Wanbin in your mama? LOL. I did. I did. Thank you for the DM. I did. Absolutely. I said that. Yes, I did. And I'm proud of it. I'm probably not proud of that. Anyway, the point is, you know what? You're never going to win quickly through the draft.
Obviously not.
You're OKC, man.
Yes.
But if you're, you know, I think Miami's a really good example of this with Jimmy Butler, or Brooklyn with Kevin Durant and Kyrie, and we've probably seen the dark side of the process. But I look at the very few teams, Golden State, you know, they draft 3 superstars 3 years in a row with Steph, Clay, Dre. I look at Boston when you put together a Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
But have they won? They haven't, and that's the dangerous side of building through the draft, is that you're betting on usually 19-year-old kids,
the Phoenix Suns,
to become into stars. And I look at the Phoenix Suns, who was my next bet there. You look at Devin Booker, who's just now a superstar, and they have not won. And the only reason they've really won is because of Mikal Bridges, and then, oh, by the way, they added Chris Paul as a free agent. I'm telling you, the path to greatness is, hey, 2-3 really solid draft picks, but you got to go buy superstardom. That's the only way that you're going to win a championship. And I look at Kevin Durant, and as maligned as he was as a Warrior for that move out of OKC, they don't win without Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
they don't. And I think when you look at the dynasty of the Golden State Warriors, they're not a dynasty without Kevin Durant.
Well, and Kevin Durant doesn't come to the Warriors if they don't develop Clay, Steph, and Dre. If they weren't already good, like. You know, I love Kevin Durant. Obviously, you know, his face is right here, me and my guy, right? But the fact is he wouldn't have gone to a losing team. We just all know
he would
that.
not have.
So I think that you have to. It goes both ways.
All right, let's get some of your thoughts in here. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all of your comments, interacting with the show every day, right here on the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. Mike Maple says Henderson would be ideal for Utah. Henderson, which one? Give me an idea.
More detail.
Yeah, more detail. And Garcia says, how about adopting the JRE format and keep the ad strictly at the start of the show? I don't know what JRE is.
Yeah, what's JRE?
Scott Howard, when Don went political, that's when the relationship with the fans soured. Did his relationship with the fans sour? I don't think it did. I think what happened was, I agree with you, that opened the door to a bad relationship with the fans. Then the Rudy stuff forced fans to take a side.
Yeah.
Don versus Rudy was absolutely real. I don't believe that it was just the politics or the wanting to educate kids on the history, like all of that mess. I think It was the Don versus Rudy thing that was his ultimate undoing.
But I think you make a good point with that, though. Like that, when Don started talking about that off the court stuff and the political stuff, that kind of started that sort of process, and they kind of, it all sort of snowballed. And the other thing I would say about Don real quick too is like, I hope he learned his lesson about like when to ask for a trade and when not to. I never believed in my heart that he wanted to be traded. What I think Donovan wants is a team that he can kind of control and be the guy. And the problem was he was the guy on the floor, but in the locker room, I think because he was so young, he was still learning how to be the guy off the floor.
But also, by the way, I think Quinn Snyder had a lack of leadership. I think that Quinn did not want to. Quinn was very much a player's coach. Mm-hmm. And Quinn was not a guy that was going to go to Rudy Gobert and say, hey, you got to pipe down. Because Rudy Gobert, and again, I just encourage you to go back to our shows, going on a year now, last December, when we started talking about the chemistry issues that were seeping through the walls at Vivint Arena.
Yeah.
And you started hearing about, Rudy Gobert calling out guys and then not taking critique in return, and that he continually called out guys. And then he called out Donovan and praised Devin Booker, and nobody said to him, you can't do that.
That's an issue.
And then when guys like Mike Conley went to Rudy Gobert, Rudy didn't take it well. And he didn't take it well because he believed he was the alpha on this team. And you never had leadership from the top down saying, hey, Rudy, you got to pipe down here.
Yeah.
This is not how we're going to do business. And nobody ever said that. And I think ultimately that was Quinn's undoing, because Quinn Snyder wanted them to be much more aggressive. Quinn Snyder, the day that you knew Quinn Snyder was leaving this team, and I encourage you to go back and listen to our shows that week, at the trade deadline last year, when you gave away Joe Ingles' expiring contract, when you went out and did absolutely nothing, that was the day that you told Quinn Snyder you no longer valued him as your head coach. And by the way, I don't think it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
But when I look at where you're at now with Will Hardy, Will Hardy's not going to be able to walk into this locker room and tell anybody anything. And I think the one blessing in disguise here is that Mike Conley, as a veteran leader, commands respect because he is that guy.
Say this again.
He's had a great career. But the question is, when you don't play for anything and your games are not of consequence, can you really grow and develop people? Can you really teach people how to lead when you're playing games that are meaningless?
Keep it real.
That's a big question. I think it's one the Jazz are going to have to ask, because when you don't play games of consequence, and as we found out the hard way in Dallas last year, when Bojan missed that shot, it makes you or breaks you, and it broke this team.
Yeah.
Repeatedly. Losing in the bubble broke this team. It happened over and over. Mike missed a shot. Bojan missed several shots. Donovan never got that shot.
Yeah.
And it broke this team. Rudy's not on the floor. Rudy's not a factor. Terrence Mann dunked on Rudy. Like, it broke this team.
Yeah.
Games of consequence make or break you. And I look at this Jazz team. They're not going to play a game of consequence this year.
Yeah.
I would guess, unless something crazy happens, they're not going to play a game of consequence.
But do their games of consequence, become present because of the vision of the team? Like, is the messaging to the team, hey, this is where we're going. Yeah, we're probably not a playoff team right this second, but this is where we're going, and this is the reason that we have to improve and play good basketball. I wonder, obviously we don't know the answer. I mean, I would assume, but, again, it's just an assumption. But I would assume that the messaging is, hey, like, yeah, this is why we're doing what we're doing. This is why we have to play fast. This is why you have to stay healthy. This is why you got to go to bed and eat food and be a professional and, like, do all these things. Because, yeah, we're not winning now, but, hey, Malik Beasley, hey, Vardo, like, you guys need to improve. Like, you guys need to get better so we can contend for championships in 3 years. That's what I think it is.
7:30 on the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at TryDayTrading.com/Monty. All of our Jazz talk is presented by TryDayTrading.com/Monty. And Garcia keeps going with, he says, JRE, casuals?
Yeah, well, dude.
Do you mean Joe Rogan? Is that what you're trying to point to? Because Joe Rogan does do all of his So the way Joe Rogan's podcast works, if you don't know, arguably the biggest podcast in the world is the Joe Rogan Experience.
Okay.
The first 5 to 7 minutes of his show are all commercials. It's just him reading all of his commercials, and then he never goes back to it. but we know that that's not the effective route for your advertiser. And maybe Joe gets away with that because he's got 10 million downloads a day. We don't have 10 million downloads a day, man. And as a local show here in Salt Lake City with local sponsors, we know through our experience what drives our listener. And when you're on for 3 hours and you read all your commercials at 6 to 6:10, and then you never go back to them, what happens at 8:30? What happens at 7:30? What happens at 6:30? It doesn't work that way. So when you're doing a live stream show, that's just not the way. I think he means, I'm not assuming you mean Joe Rogan's show.
Yeah, he's saying Joe Rogan Experience. That's exactly what he's referencing.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I am guessing
That's what
Rant says, championship LOL shot 100 threes a game strategy made Terrence Mann look like Steph Curry 2 years back. Yeah, it did. Scoot Henderson. Oh, yeah, Scoot would be I'm a huge Scoot guy. I don't know if Scoot, what does Scoot weigh? We've talked about Scoot on the show a couple of times. I am much more a believer in, what does he weigh? Scoot Henderson is 6'2", 195, which is good size. And this is, 195 when you're 18 years old, I'll take it. I'll take it. And I look at his game, and he's phenomenal. I mean, the guy, he's got G League experience, obviously. And I think I've even said this on the show. He'd be the guy I would take. I am never going to be the guy that's going to say draft VW. I'm not.
I feel like the VW thing is the same thing as Zion. Everyone said, oh, Zion's the Jesus Christ of basketball. Oh, my God, VW is just everything that any basketballing organization could ever want, even though he's doing this against 100-pound kids and nobody who's ever going to play in the NBA. How do we just skip over that? How do you have no ability to say, yeah, wow, if he's playing someone that's 250 on the block, how's that going to work out for him? Man, if he's playing, even if he has a matchup against an NBA caliber player on the block who's 6'5" and he's 7'3", I mean, yeah, he'll probably just shoot over him, but who's to say that guy's not going to foul him hard? That's what I have a problem with. NBA basketball is physical, bro. They are going to come after you. And that's what I don't think people value nearly enough.
Yeah, and, just looking at Scoot Henderson's G League stats last year, 11 games, 24 minutes, 14 points. Not a 17% three-point shooter. That's going to have to get better at 6'2". But, I mean, the guy is 18 years old, and I'm a huge fan, dude. Yeah. I'm a big believer in Scoot, and he would absolutely, Mike Maples, be my guy. We've talked about that a lot. Freezy Breezy says Katie's lying.
About what?
I think I heard yesterday or maybe it was a couple days ago, on Media Day, one of the talking head shows said if Kevin Durant's lips are moving, he's lying.
That's his opinion.
But it's turned into a thing now. It's turned into a thing now, whether you like, and I hate that we do this pretty much on everything. Well, is he telling the truth? Where's the conspiracy theory here? There's not. This Kevin Durant bite, and I'll play it again. We played it yesterday. I look at this Kevin Durant bite. Is this arrogant? Yes. But is he wrong?
I know I'm that good that you're just not going to give me away. So that's one thing I did appreciate about Sean and Joe is you're too great for us to give you away. Just that easy, that simple. So I get that. I know who I am.
I know who I am.
Yeah.
Is that arrogant?
No. It is. Yeah. It is. But he's not wrong. No. And he's spot on. I mean, you're not. No organization is just going to give Kevin Durant away.
So, but you listen to that, and I totally interrupted you right there. I apologize. I'm a dick. Anyway, the point is, you listen to that. You listen to that, and then you listen to this. Who's more truthful?
A lot of it, like you just said, is I don't have to do as much offensively. So I'm able to lock in, on those possessions, and I'm not tired, as tired. Getting in better shape to be able to play both sides of the ball. It's not the ability. I can play defense. I know that for a fact, and I haven't shown that, and that's what I'm looking forward to do here.
Who do you believe more?
Play DeAndre Ayton one too, because I think DeAndre Ayton falls right into this.
Why? DeAndre Ayton's lying right here.
Congratulations on obviously getting the deal. Just maybe your thoughts that you got that. Maybe what was your initial reaction once the Suns matched the Pacers offer?
I was happy. It was all done, I guess.
Congratulations, but that's bullshit.
Oh, man. Dre, you're lying. You're lying.
Yeah. I mean, NBA players do it all the time. I think the problem is Kevin Durant now has a reputation of being a snake, as a guy who just bounces around.
Bro, just look at his face when he says this.
Congratulations on obviously getting the deal. Just maybe your thoughts that you got that. Maybe what was your initial reaction once the Suns matched the Pacers offer?
I was happy. It was all done, I guess.
You are not a good poker player, sir. You're not. You didn't want the Suns to match.
No.
And obviously this goes along with this fight right here.
I haven't spoken to Monty. No, I haven't spoken to him at all. Ever since the game.
So not a game?
No. I'm here.
You happy to be here at the end?
Yeah, I'm all right. When I'm in between those lines, man, I'll just work. You know, I'm not playing for myself. You know, I have an organization across my chest and a name on my back I have to represent.
Yeah, I'm all right.
I'm all right.
I'm all right.
Okay, dude.
No.
Yeah, sure you are. Sure you are.
That's being a liar. That's not being honest.
So
I think when you look at...
Dude, Kevin was being genuine in that bite. Like, maybe that makes him an asshole, but he was being genuine. Come on, dude.
Well, you know, that's my dude.
Yeah, like,
Kevy, Kevy, he ain't wrong.
Don't lie to me.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
I know I'm that good that you're just not going to give me away. So that's one thing I did appreciate about Sean and Joe is like, yeah, you're too great for us to give you away. Just that easy, that simple. So I get that. I know who I am.
You know, I know who I am.
Is that a real question?
I'm Kevin Durant.
What you want me to say to that?
I don't know. I think Donnie has been... I don't understand why Donovan Mitchell continues to talk about the Jazz. It's weird to me. He met with the media, the day they introduced him. He's done 2 media sessions.
Okay. So that's how it's going to be.
After that, he's done 2 media sessions, and every time he's talked about the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And, he talks about how I was out of shape previously. He talks about, he talks about how, we just didn't get the job done. No, we didn't.
You're out of your
Yeah,
element.
man, we didn't win in Utah. Like, he just keeps pounding the nail.
Yeah.
We didn't win in Utah. We didn't get the job done. We didn't win in Utah.
You have no frame of reference here,
Like,
yeah,
it
dude.
just keeps
running
going.
in his mouth, bro.
And I don't understand it. And if you look at this quote, like, he was not ever asked about Utah.
I've made it to the playoffs every year. Ultimately, I haven't gotten to the end goal, and that's what I'm looking to do here. I think my goals align with our team's goals, which makes it easier. But for me, it's no secret I haven't won. I haven't won. We didn't win in Utah. We didn't get the job done as a group. So now that I'm here in Cleveland, that's the goal. It's not just to make the playoffs, but to go deep into the playoffs. And
Donnie, please.
You weren't asked about it, bro. Donovan Mitchell continues, and I think it is him exercising his demons.
Yeah.
I think he just continues to take shots at the Jazz because I think he's bitter over it. Football 50 in 12 minutes. We'll have the very latest on Hurricane Ian. We'll have this conversation coming up about the college football playoff. That's going to be the main part of our Football 50 presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza here in 12 minutes. But this Don thing is interesting to me. I just don't know why he keeps going.
Yeah.
I really don't understand it. Why he keeps going. SD, San Diego State Aztec says, I'm a Suns fan. I am not an Ayton fan. Unhappy that he was matched. Grow a pair Ayton a larger hands too.
Yeah, dude.
Well,
yeah.
I can only tell you that he still does not catch the basketball well, DeAndre Ayton, but we've talked about it for a long time. DeAndre Ayton's soft. Like, he's not a guy that wants to bang.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton would far rather shoot a 10-foot jump shot than dunk on somebody.
But no one's going to disrespect me.
He's not Miles Turner. He's not that guy. And
I'm not afraid to die.
I think we all learned a very hard lesson. Boy, you are on fire today. I think we all learned
some of that Mike Tyson energy.
but seriously, I think we all learned a very hard lesson about Rudy Gobert from Miles Turner. Like, Speaking of not afraid to die, Miles Turner was ready to kick the crap out of Rudy Gobert, who's
Pretty
like,
much.
whoa, bro, what's the problem?
Catch me outside.
Right?
How about that?
I mean,
That's literally what Rudy said.
Rudy's like, yeah, we can take it outside after the game, but
What I just said.
you know, like, what are you doing? Because Rudy Gobert's soft. I look at DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton's soft. And in this league, if you're going to be a 7-footer, you can't be soft. And you better be able to shoot. And so, like, I look at Victor Wembanyama, like, I think the problem with VW is he's soft.
And go ahead and try me then.
You know, I look at your guy, Chet. Chet is soft.
He is. But Chet's a great example of what VW is going to be. VW is bigger than Chet. Chet hasn't even played an NBA game and LeBron hurt him. Come on, dude.
I don't know. I think it's interesting. Jose Rodriguez, you're doing the same thing, exaggerating minor issues like the media's treatment of Don. Don had everything to succeed and blew it. Well, I don't think he had everything to succeed. I think the roster construction, Dennis Lindsey was absolutely paralyzing to this franchise.
Yeah.
There's no other way to say that. And I know that, people got all upset when we said that the day he was fired, but Dennis Lindsey screwed this team for probably 5 years.
Yeah.
You look at the financial repercussions of simply Rudy's contract alone is hamstringing this franchise. And we can sit here and we can sugarcoat it, but the way the media treated Donovan Mitchell ran him out of town to a certain level. I'm not saying it's the only reason. Donovan Mitchell did not play defense, and he absolutely was not good enough to win here. I don't disagree with that.
And I don't think we're exaggerating minor issues. The guy keeps talking about the Jazz and like that they didn't win and they didn't get the job done and it wasn't good enough. And then, proceeds to say that he's going to start playing defense and everything's better in Cleveland. It just feels, it's not exaggerating, man. It's clearly a grass is greener on the other side of the fence mentality. That's what it is. And look, I'm not even saying I disagree with what the point that he's making. I don't disagree that, hey, they didn't get the job done. Hey, you didn't have enough to win. Like, I disagree with you, Jose. He didn't have enough to win. Bojan Bogdanovic and Rudy Gobert are not championship caliber players. They're just not. There's not a world in an NBA game where Bojan Bogdanovic should be doing anything other than shooting the 3-ball out of the corner. That just is what it is. There's not a world where Rudy Gobert should be the second option to score a bucket on your basketball team. That's just not how it should be. But yet that's how it was for Donovan Mitchell in his 5 seasons with the Utah Jazz. So for me, again, I don't disagree with what he's saying. What I disagree with is that you keep bringing up Utah instead of talking about how you have all this awesome stuff happening in Cleveland.
I don't think there is any doubt. And to address your point specifically about them winning, the roster construction was broke here.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we are where we are with the Jazz. But make no mistake about it, Donovan Mitchell's going to average 30 points a game this year. And if he doesn't, it's because he's got a ton of talent around him. He never had a ton of talent around him. Rudy Gobert is not a championship player when the roster's built around him.
Yeah.
Could he win a championship in Minnesota? Sure.
Dude, the guy can't even win Euros. Like, get the hell out of here with NBA championships.
But I think
dude.
it's different than that. I look at the NBA, and I think the guys around you absolutely make or break you. Why did Kevin Durant go to Golden State? Because they had a ton of talent. Why did Golden State beat Boston? Golden State's more talented. Talent wins in the NBA. You have to have some chemistry, and this team absolutely had zero chemistry.
Yeah.
But the media taking shots at Don on a daily basis, the media straight making up stories about Donovan Mitchell that were completely not true.
And then having to retract and apologize on Twitter because he went after you.
Which, by the way, never works. You can
facts straight.
You can retract anything you want. It's not possible. And I'm sorry, doesn't cover it. You look at the way the media mistreated Donovan Mitchell. I've never seen it. I've never seen it before. And I don't say this because, oh, look at me, I'm awesome. I only say this because I've seen a lot in a lot of major markets. I've worked professionally in sports media, covered the NBA in LA, Chicago, San Francisco, Sacramento. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've never seen a star player like Donovan Mitchell have the relationship and the dysfunction, nor have I ever seen a team allow that kind of relationship and dysfunction to go on with the media.
Yeah.
It is unheard of. And I think it is a very good reason why he does not want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's part of it. Absolutely, it's part of it. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
There's no great way, to go about that. Brad Turner says, hi, first post. gives us a $5 tip.
Appreciate you, Brad.
That's a way to break in, Brad.
Yeah, appreciate you.
I appreciate you, he says. I hail from little brother land of USU. Ooh, tough season. I root for the big bro Utah. Diehard pray for Jazz fan. Thank you for the truth. You're welcome. We appreciate that. Josh Lovren, thoughts on Malika Andrews? Malika Andrews. Twitter is killing her and asking ESPN for Rachel Nichols to replace her. So Malika Andrews went ham. She's kind of been on one lately. She's likes to fight guy. Like she is.
Yeah, she got a strong personality, no doubt.
But no, I think she's really trying to be like an alpha. I don't know what happened to Malika Andrews because she went from somebody that was like a darling, well received, to somebody that just wants to punch you in the face for no matter what you say. Man, look, the sky's blue. No, it's not. Like, what are we watching?
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
And I saw that on Twitter yesterday that people were going after Malika Andrews.
I didn't see what she said. I missed that.
It's not what she said. It's what she's saying. She is being super aggressive.
Yeah.
Really abrasive.
But no one's going to disrespect me.
Going after Kendrick Perkins repeatedly.
Yeah.
You know, like it's crazy to me that she's gone from a darling to somebody that a lot of basketball fans can't stand watching.
I actually don't mind Perk in his opinion. I mean, I don't love the guy, but he's improved.
It's gotten better.
Yeah.
Jansen says Porzingis is an underrated shooter. Injury prone.
If he can be on the floor.
Injury prone.
Like, again, another perfect example of a guy who was like the best thing since sliced bread. And what has he actually done?
Yeah, I agree. Football 50 in 15 minutes. Chet is going to keep getting injured unless he gains some weight, Freezy Breezy said.
Dude.
Sure.
Yes.
Yep. Eric C. Don is not upset with the Jazz. Come on. Okay. I don't know that he's upset with the Jazz, but he's certainly... I mean, he's doing interviews where he's not asked anything remotely possibly related to the Jazz. And he brings up, well, yeah, we didn't win in Utah.
We didn't get the job done as a group. And he also said in that clip that he made a small reference to everyone being aligned on values and goals, which to me was definitely a, hey, yeah, our team was dysfunctional, didn't, wasn't on the same page. Like, you don't just say those things. Don is not dumb. He's not stupid. And so the reason I disagree with the assertion that this is like blowing something out of proportion or making something out of nothing is because he's what you just said. He's being asked a question completely unrelated to the Jazz, yet he keeps bringing it up. It would be different if someone said, well, hey, so how does, obviously you're coming from the Utah Jazz. How does your new situation compare to what you had there? Okay.
Now let's rip the Jazz.
Let's rip the Jazz, right?
Right?
But when, I don't remember what she asked them, but basically when you're getting questions like, hey, what are you looking forward to this year? Or what are you working on in your game? Or, just basic-ass basketball questions. And you're bringing up the Jazz, that's what tells me you're still on the Jazz stuff.
Yep, I agree. Aztec gives us a $10 tip. It says, I haven't tipped y'all in a while for the infrastructure. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
When you guys tip us, I want you to understand, and what he means by for the infrastructure, we don't put that money in our pocket.
Yeah.
Like our good friends at Wayman Brothers Construction right now are doing a huge project for us.
We're in the home stretch, baby.
We're probably a week away from talking about it.
Yeah.
Wayman Brothers Construction is doing a huge project for us that is a good chunk of change. And so when you give us a $10 tip or a $5 tip, that's where it's going. We're, all of the camera equipment, all of the lighting infrastructure we're buying, that's where your tips go. And you probably don't care, but it's not like we're taking them to buy flats for Jake. No, we are buying lights, camera, equipment, studio, all that good stuff. So, And by the way, if you need a contractor, find our guys at Wayman Brothers Construction, 801-654-1028, 801-654-1028 for Wayman Brothers Construction, local family business right here in Salt Lake City. They serve the entire valley. Call them. There's not a project too big or too small. And I know this is basement finishing season, and people love finished basements here in Utah.
Yes.
They're the best at it. They've done several projects for me. As I said, they built a deck around my hot tub last winter. They're just fabulous to do business with. They communicate. They're on time. Their finished product is remarkable. It is so good. And, one of the things we're doing is we're building a custom project right now. So there's not a blueprint for it, for the finer details, right? So Josh, who's one of their leads over there at Wayman Brothers Construction, calls me and says, hey, I'm going to be at the project in 5 minutes. Let's meet there and talk about it. All right, cool. So he says, hey, I see this as an issue. Here's how I'd like to fix that problem. How would you like to fix it? And we kind of come together and talk about it, and we come up with a solution. I love that because they're communicating. They're fixing the issue, and the finished product is amazing. And by the way, they are on budget, which is huge. Wayman Brothers Construction, 801-654-1028. 801-654-1028. Tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Aztec, appreciate the tip, man. Makes a big difference. Brent Burnett says Gobert and Spida going to be just fine. I think so. Yeah. I think Rudy Gobert is the bigger question. Will Rudy Gobert ever be the centerpiece on another ball club? I think that's a big question. When you're paying him and Cat, I think it's in 2024. Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert will combine to make $100 million.
I think defensively they're going to be fine, obviously. But I think offensively, I have real questions about floor spacing, about how you're going to what that looks like. Because, with Utah, Rudy a lot of time, would kind of get pushed into this no man's land at the baseline and at the block where he'd be out of the paint but kind of at the baseline waiting for the play to develop. And I don't know what you do with both of them.
What did we see in the Dallas series? We saw in the Dallas series last year that Rudy Gobert loved Papa Murphy's Pizza and Football at 50, 10 of the hour, every hour on the Monty Show.
Well played.
We'll get back to the Jazz and the NBA coming up in 10 minutes. But right now, let's talk football right here. Thanks to our friends at Papa Murphy's. Download the Papa Murphy's app. Order your pizza. What do I do every Friday? Get on the Papa Murphy's app, order my pizza at 10 a.m., pick it up at 5 o'clock, and it's fresh and ready to go. They've got my take and bake chocolate chip cookie dough. Pop it all on the smoker, done in 25 minutes. I'm telling you, by the way, we always talk about the pizza that we order. Again, Jimmy yesterday asked me on Twitter, hey, what's the recipe for the pizza you order? It's a large crust. Barbecue sauce,
not
my
red
friends.
sauce, barbecue.
Barbecue.
Get it right.
Barbecue. Put a little onion mix on there. Put a little mozzarella cheese.
Mozzarella.
Put a little,
onion.
Pineapple. Yes, I put pineapple on my pizza. Little mushroom. Little cheese mix. And then you top it off with the green onion.
Yes.
Oh,
bomb.
I'm telling you.
Ironwood, 885, 25 minutes, 425.
And there's nothing like pizza during football season right off the smoker.
On a 50-degree day. Let's go.
And wait until Monday. The Papa Murphy's promotion for October is off the chain. As is the college football playoff, friends. The committee met yesterday. And I wonder your thoughts on this. Does the college football playoff need to be expanded? Duh, it does. Right? But is it 12? Is it 16? Should they do it now? Should they wait? Where are you at on the urgency to expand the college football playoff?
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be as soon as possible, but I think you have to do it within reason. I think you can't just say, all right, yeah, tomorrow we're going to expand this thing and do whatever the hell we want. I think you have to take into consideration conference realignment, what the Big Ten's doing, what's going to happen to the Pac-10, what's going to happen to the Big 12, who's adding teams where, because once that gets finalized, then you can make an educated decision on whether it should be 12 or 16 or 87. You can decide how many teams are going to get into the college football playoff. And I think that you also have to consider the AP top 25. I mean, this is love it or hate it, and I personally hate it, but that's what everyone goes off of for the college football playoff. And I think that, when it comes right down to it, you have a bunch of guys sitting around a table looking at the AP top 25, deciding who the teams should be. And I'm just here to say you can't expand the college football playoff if you don't know what conference these teams are going to be in. If Utah's in the Big 12, that changes things. So
I think that's interesting.
That's why I say I think you have to wait. To answer your question, I think you got to wait probably 2 years to actually expand it, because then you will know where everyone's landed.
You know what? I think one of the things that's so interesting to me is that there's a debate on whether this should happen now or later. The college football playoff is expanding. We know that.
Yeah.
The meeting in the college football playoff committee is, do you do it now or do you do it later? And I think you do it now. And I think when I say now, I don't think you can do it before 2024, just based on TV money and the financials of college football.
Yeah.
But I look at what you have right now, and I just don't think you have enough. I think I guess I'm in the minority on this, but I feel like the G5 is really important for the college football playoff. I think it's incredibly important to include the Boise States, the Utah States. I think it's really important to include the smaller schools because it grows the product.
Yeah.
And if you look at Boise State, if Boise State isn't in the BCS and, if Boise State's not winning games of consequence, are they really expanding their facilities right now? They're probably not. You look at where the Mountain West Conference is currently, love them or hate them, Craig Thompson made them nationally relevant.
Yeah.
And so I look at San Diego State as a great example here. I think San Diego State is a college football name during expansion because of where they're located, and they've got to act on that. That's where I'm at with the college football playoff. You're in a position of leverage now. I think you have to act on it. And I would love 16. I like the idea of getting to 12 and then ultimately moving to 16, but why not go to 16 right away?
Yeah.
I think it is. It's not, and by the way, it's not 16 games. I think the other thing that people forget is if you're doing 16 teams, it's 8 games.
Yeah.
Down to 4 games, down to 2 games, down to a championship
And you're
game.
talking about bye weeks, and you're talking about seeding. And the other thing I think real quick you got to consider is how much bias does the SEC either gain or lose in an expanded college football playoff? Because, again, right now it's like, hey, yeah, Georgia and Alabama have to be in because we only have 4 teams. They have to be in. So I would be curious to see how that bias would change.
But I think if you look at where the SEC is now and you look at the depth that's built into that conference, I would wonder the same thing about the Big Ten. How many Big Ten teams get in? Michigan's probably a college football playoff team.
Yeah.
I look at teams like peripheral teams in the Big Ten right now, the Penn States of the world, the Michigan States of the world. Look at Purdue. Purdue's been a darling. I look at the SEC and I say to myself, how long is Lane Kiffin going to, wander around the woods of mediocrity at Ole Miss? I look at Jimbo at A&M. There's a lot of compelling storylines. I look at the Big 12, and I say to myself, is Texas Tech a playoff team? Well, at 16, hell, even at 12, maybe Texas Tech is. Texas in the SEC. I don't know if Texas is a playoff team in the SEC, but they have a better chance at 12 or 16. It's just better for college football.
Yeah.
I don't buy the wear and tear on the college athlete. I don't buy that it degrades the bowls. Use the big nameplate New Year's Six bowls, as a playoff that like you do now.
Yes.
Use the 16 teams, 8 games. Use those 4 of those games. Give some teams buys. Hey, play your way into 12 teams.
Totally.
There's ways to do this.
Yes.
And I do think if you can do it in 2024, you should absolutely do it because I can't think of a reason not to expand it.
And I agree, expanding to 12 just to go to 16 in 3 years feels very procedural. Why would you not just go to 16?
Well, and I think it's because of the grant of rights and you look at what's going on with the Big 12 and you look at what's going on with the Pac and you look at the way that expansion and contraction and merging and you look at the TV dollars that are at play right now. The college football playoff is in the exact same situation. Hey, if we go to 12, are we going to get more money from our TV deal? Hey, if we go to 16 and we wait for 2025 or 20, that's what you're waiting for.
Yeah.
Because if the SEC, let's say the SEC expands, or let's say the Big 12 and the Pac merge, let's say Oregon and Washington with, USC and UCLA, Cal and Stanford end up in the Big 10, and now you have a Western Conference. All of those things are dollar signs for the Big 10. So it's not as simple as, well, let's do it this season. Well, you can't do that because you have TV deals. So I do think it is a viable conversation, and I think it's a really important discussion. I think it's one you can't get wrong. Let's see. Fat Jesus says, Ken Williams is a genius. Ken Williams says, put 16 teams into a hat and draw, make it fun, and do it live. Talk about ratings, LOL.
Agreed.
Do it KD style.
Dude, and I think that the thing is, and this is very stupid in my opinion, but I can just already see that people who make these decisions are like, well, what happens if Alabama plays Utah State? Or what happens if some great team plays a crappy team? And all I have to say is, hey, that's the nature of the beast. You got opportunity. If you lose, that's on them. You know what I mean? That's on Utah State or whatever, G5 or lower end team is getting pounded by Alabama. That's on them. There's not much you can do.
Alabama. Yeah, you're going to get pounded by Alabama, but you should, when your team gets pounded by Alabama, do it while you're eating Papa Murphy's pizza.
No one goes all in on made-from-scratch freshness like Papa Murphy's. We go all in on quality. All in on craft. And on the Triple Pep Pizza, we go all in on pepperoni. Because when you go all in, people notice. Go all in with a limited-time Triple Pep Pizza, topped with 3 types of pepperoni for just $11.99. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Indeed. Make sure you use the promo code Monty25, MONTY, Monty25 to get your Papa Murphy's pizza, 25% off your order of $25 or more. And by the way, Tanner Plummer, your first comment of the day, usually it's, hey guys, good to see you. Good morning. No, today it's, hey, we don't do pineapple on pizza. Tanner?
What's Hullabilly got to say? I'm not here for the nonsense on pineapple. What's Hullabilly up to?
Pineapple pizza with some hot sauce
is
amazing.
You see what I mean? See what I'm saying?
Cast Coolin says, y'all bugging. That sounds gross. No. Okay. So maybe we need to get this going. Okay. Papa Murphy's Shake and Bake.
Yes, you did.
In the Papa Murphy's app, you can customize your pizza any way you want it. Why are we not putting pineapple on pizza? This feels like one of those things. Like nobody puts, like olives, I think, Satan's giblets, right? Come on.
Because it's garbage.
Come on.
Nobody eats olives, dude. Come on.
Well, apparently they do. But my point is, why can we not put pineapple on pizza?
Yeah, I don't understand it. I mean, we had someone the other day last week who tried pineapple and was like, whoa, I've been missing out for years.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Pineapple will change your groinial machinations. It will.
Excuse me, groinial machinations?
Yeah, look it up. Tucker Brady says pepperoni and jalapeno plus pineapple is goat.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hoo. Ken Williams says, get the Chicago pizza. It's so yummy. I add the pineapple. I love pineapple. I do. I like pineapple on pizza. San Diego State says, you missed my hot sauce comment yesterday, Monty. What is it? By the way, do you guys know the story of sriracha hot sauce? Mrs. Monty, while she was practicing her Kawhi Leonard laugh, sent me a story on Twitter the other day about the guy that founded Sriracha has never spent $1 on advertising, doesn't have any salespeople. It just does its job. Huh. He just makes hot sauce and he prints hundies. Well, that's the life we need.
Is a low key thing. Like it adds to the dish.
Okay, Dallin Sproul says there's a reason why in commercials they don't show that. The majority of people don't like pineapple on pizza. Not a go-to. No shame, but I don't like it on pizza.
Dallin, you remember how Dallin Holker left BYU?
Dallin?
I think you're the Dallin that might have to, enter the transfer portal here because comments like that are offensive.
Let's see. NY Jazz fan says, don't knock it till you try it. I tried it. Being a naysayer, now I am a pineapple ham pizza fan.
See what I'm saying?
Murica. Speaking of Murica, Fat Jesus says no pineapple. Murica.
Wow.
I mean, what kind of God doesn't like? What kind of God doesn't like pineapple?
Dude, you've summoned an early appearance on the show, Fat Jesus.
There we go.
Fat Jesus. I thought we had a thing going. Like we had like a parody. We were on the same level, and you have abandoned me.
That's still one of the best drops ever.
This is fucking America.
Whatever. Fat Jesus. You need to reevaluate your life.
Yeah, you need to grow up. What kind of God doesn't put pineapple on a pizza?
U.S. Americans.
You know what I'm saying? This is taking over the show now. Presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. Let's see. M. Shepard says, Daddy Murphy's pineapple ham and their white sauce on thin crust is goat. Daddy! See, now... No, never mind. No, man. Let's see. Fun fact. Mexicans only order Hawaiian pizzas for some reason. Hey, man, I like my Mexican brothers.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Whoa. Wings of Gumby says, may as well put chocolate frosting on pizza then. What's wrong with that? I'm here for that.
Bonnie, please.
I'm here for that. Ken Williams says, I can't eat peppers or pepperoni. It gives me heartburn. I'm not a pep guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a pep guy.
Yeah.
We've had this.
Everyone who eats pep tells me the Papa Murphy's pep is good.
Yeah, so, guy Caleb Harrison is like, hey, man, pepperoni all day. Nah, bro. Brent Burnett says, who doesn't like pizza? I don't know. That's un-American. Russians, that's who don't like pizza.
Right.
Jansen says pineapple, pepperoni, and green bell pepper, the best trip. Now, Mrs. Monty is a bell pepper fan.
Right.
I am not a bell pepper fan on pizza. Justin Solis, my dude. What's up, Justin? Good to hear from you. Are you back in Utah yet? Justin says pineapple doesn't belong anywhere near or on a pizza. Okay,
You out of your
Texas.
goddamn mind.
You keep your non-pineapple having ass in Texas.
So you
then.
better check yourself.
I'm kidding. Totally kidding. I love that we can debate food on this show. Do you know that here on the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com, that debating food is one of my favorite things to do on this show.
To what do I owe this pleasure?
You know, ranch versus blue cheese.
Dude.
Okay, that's not really a debate.
Over the weekend, I specifically went out of my way to get Super Chicks Ranch.
Yeah.
With the Traeger wings, and my God, dude. I mean, I'm just talking about, like, excellent. Excellent.
What is it? The Diabo or what's that?
Asada.
Asada seasoning.
The Asada seasoning. Dude, Clint turned us on to the Asada. I mean, it's
Clint
bomb,
at
dude.
Barbecue Pit Stop, barbecuepitstop.com. Clint in the Lehigh store. He's
Absolutely
he's the
phenomenal,
king of
dude.
seasoning.
Dude, like, incredible.
Yes, I just, Anyway. Okay, Tom Basilius says, remember dessert pizza at
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Had like frosting and cinnamon sugar. Anybody, they still do that.
Okay, bro, get the nomenclature right. It's a cinnamon pull-apart that's cut like a pizza.
Oh, well, excuse my groinial machinations.
Come on.
A pull-apart. But I will say, not to keep doing the Papa Murphy's commercial, but I will say it is really tough to beat their Take and Bake chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, it is.
If you have
the fact that you can smoke those too just adds another layer.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Giggity says, love you, Jake, but food advice from Mr. Chicken Burrito is hard to accept.
Well, Giggity, that's.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
Listen to me. I can appreciate your opinions, Giggity, but I know how to eat. I mean,
hey, welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order? Hey, hey, bro, do you guys have chicken burritos?
Fucking A.
We don't. No, we don't. But we do have chicken nuggies. All right, I'm out. Thanks. We're like, no matter where we are, like in Hawaii, we're at Fred's.
Get the hell out of here. I did not get a chicken burrito at Fred's.
And he's looking at the menu. He's like, well, chicken burrito or a chicken burrito? This is a tough choice.
Fucking vernal equinox.
Well, I think I'll go fish tacos.
Come on.
We're at Mama's Fish House in Maui, and he's like, the beautiful Hawaiian Polynesian waitress walks up and is like, what can I get for you, sir?
Hey, guys.
He's like, hey, do you guys have a chicken burrito on the menu?
He's just a hack.
It's who you are, man. Own your brand. Own your brand.
It's not my brand.
Own
it's
your
not.
brand.
I
Yes,
got
it
a
is.
great fish dish.
It's not lies.
Lies.
No, it's not. No, it is lies, actually. You only order chicken burritos when we're not in Hawaii.
You are fake.
So everywhere else. Brett Burnett says, pizza great. Anyone can make it the way they want. Exactly right.
Totally.
Jeremy Severi says, pineapple, barbecue, bacon, onion, and chicken pizza.
Damn,
oh, my
dude.
God.
Stop, bro. Please.
Oh, my God. I think one of our listeners, was it Raphael? Somebody asked me about, Neville asked me about the chicken pizza we had at the barbecue pit stop giveaway.
Dude.
The BYU watch party. So good. Let's see. Josh Levering says, God loves pineapple but hates it on pizza. Josh?
Sorry, folks. That's what it is.
Fat Jesus says, if Mrs. Monty is into pineapple, I'm into it, and I'm into Mrs. Monty.
Wow.
Okay. NY Jazz Fan says, sausage greater than pepperoni all day. Oh, I love. But again, Mr. Chicken Burrito
Hold
dick
on.
over
Whoa.
here.
She's wearing a pineapple shirt, bro.
She is wearing
like, she's committed.
She's wearing her Lululemon.
Yeah, like, she's committed.
God damn it.
Dude,
Now
you
we
have
gotta-
to show this. I mean, you have like.
She's got
I
on
just
her-
realized we're talking about pineapple, and she's wearing a pineapple shirt.
She is wearing a pineapple.
Whoa, nice arm, bro.
Well, let's zoom off her rack. That is the Lululemon.
Feel responsible.
That is the Lululemon Maui exclusive pineapple shirt that Mrs. Monty got on Maui. So I say, hey, more power to you, kid.
Pineapple rock.
She's dedicated to the pineapple game. You know what I'm saying? Okay, go away. By the way, sausage or pepperoni? Okay. Well, Mrs. Monty's a huge sausage fan.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
With bell peppers and onions.
No. Stop with that. Stop.
I'm just saying.
Okay, and by the way, I made awesome dinner last night.
That was phenomenal.
I mean, awesome
Dude.
winner last night. Mostaccioli with some
Okay,
red sauce.
It's penne. Relax.
Anyway, mostaccioli with some red sauce. I layered in the Parmesan cheese into the sauce. I had some ground turkey with red onion. Telling you. I am telling you.
It was penne.
Jeremy Bolton on Mostaccioli says, if you put pineapple on pizza, you might as well order flats
I really
as a
don't care
side.
if you think it's sus.
Alex
No.
Caruso likes pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
By the way, Jeremy Bolton, I don't know if you saw this yesterday. Alex Caruso wanted to change his number away from number 6 to honor Bill Russell. So he petitioned the NBA for permission because you can't just change your number. You have to ask if you're allowed to. The NBA said, no, Alex Caruso, you can't change your jersey number because you sell too many jerseys.
I'm for real. I'm for real.
You've added to this problem.
So, by the way, not only did you get into an Alex Caruso problem here, we made your kids buy you an Alex Caruso jersey to make it so that Alex Caruso is one of the top-selling jerseys in the NBA. Just saying. And Garcia says, too far with the Russian comment, LOL. There's 2 O's in two when you're saying too much, too far, too soon. T-O-O.
I'm going to say this again.
Unless you're Russian, and then they don't use O's. Let's see. Ken Williams says, bell peppers, yuck. Thank you, Ken. Thank you for talking truth to power. Thank
Kenneth.
you.
Ken, we don't know what's missing in your life.
Who hurt you, Ken? Anyway,
you?
how did we get here? Russian pizza is gross compared to American pizza, just so everyone's aware.
You had Russian pizza?
Alan Sproul, have you had pizza in Russia?
I didn't know Russian pizza was a thing.
Well, there's pizza all over the world.
Well, yeah, but
No, there's not.
But yeah, sure, there might be pizza located in Russia, but it's not Russian pizza. Like it's a New York pizza or Chicago style or.
But the water determines how
like-
good the pizza is.
Yeah, in the
because you
dough.
got to make the dough.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I think we all know that.
What is that? I wonder if there is like a different combo.
Okay,
you put
now
like
I'm gonna look
sardines
it
on
up.
it, or
Now I gotta look it up.
Look at my guy
Put,
Teddy
like-
Wayman. Look at my guy Teddy Wayman.
what's Teddy saying?
Pineapple on pizza is a mouthgasm.
A mouthgasm.
Can't make this stuff up, friends. And by the
Okay,
way,
Russian pizza is commonly referred to as makba, which is topped with mackerel, tuna, sardines, salmon, and onion.
mackerel.
I
Dude,
told you they put sardines.
That
in.
Mackerel!
is gnar.
Mackerel.
Bro, that is gnarly.
They love like greasy fish. They love
Fuck
like
outta here,
that.
mackerel.
Dude, that is
Mackerel's a very
ugly.
oily fish. Yeah.
No.
I can't say I'm trying that one.
No.
But,
It's called makba, and it's one of the most popular pizza combos in Russia, according to Google. Again,
San Diego State Aztecs says groinial machinations. I believe that's proper spelling, too. They didn't teach me anything about that during my graduate work at Gonzaga. Definitely not at San Diego State. I'll have to look that up. Dude, check. I'm telling you, all you have to do is, check the Urban Dictionary. Check, it's a real word.
Casual.
LOL, Jake hid under the table. Yeah, he did.
Dude.
Fat Jesus says chicken burrito is the grown-up version of dinosaur
Yeah, dude, like I embrace it. Like I like chicken burritos. I
that
mean,
with his
but
side of mac and cheese.
But listen,
man.
I need precisely put the mac in
Some
there.
Ritz
Give me some
crackers
eggs,
and
like some Ritz,
for
and then instead of refried beans, I need a little peanut butter. Like we're good, man. We're chilling, man.
Hey, Jake, what do you want for lunch? PB&J, but can you cut the crust off?
Yeah, come on. I like it the way I like it.
Can you cut the crust off? Please?
Yeah.
He wants it made with, use like a cookie cutter, a round one.
Yeah,
make a
just like
sandwich
smash
across.
that
Hey,
thing.
hey, Mom,
And then-
can you put a heart-shaped cutout in the middle of my sandwich so that I know you love me? Even though you don't? I mean, I just want to feel the love today.
How about that?
All right, let's move on. Jansen says, damn, now I'm hungry for pizza.
Seriously.
Papa Murphy's app. Use
Download
the
the
promo code
app.
Monty25. You know what
So
I'm saying?
delicious.
Let's see. Ken Williams says, Mrs. Monteloyal, I'll bet she is blushing.
No, that says Mrs. Monty, LOL.
Monteloyal, MONTYLOL. That's not a promo code either. Are you blushing right now?
No.
She took
Why would I be
offense.
blushing?
I don't know. She took offense. Justin Salas says, the pineapple upside down. Stop it. Pineapple upside down cake is so good. You know what I'm saying?
Can you make a pineapple upside down pizza?
San Diego State Aztec says Rocket Sister, and you do. I mean, I love the, but the problem is that was like a $90 shirt in Maui.
It was 60.
Just
agree.
just 60.
I overpaid.
Oh, okay. It's just 60.
And
It's just
eventually,
60.
We had
I've got
to stock the store. We had to stand outside the store and wait for it to open.
And-
we were like foreheads pressed up against the window, waiting.
Yeah, like I'm over here with holes in my boxer shorts, and you're buying $60 pizza shirts.
I actually got it with money from my birthday. People gave me cash.
Cash money. A couple more on this. Sausage and pineapple, mushroom, and onion. Yummy. Yes, I'm telling you. Sausage pizza, far better than... No. Do not order pepper. I am not a pepperoni guy. It's not. Kurt Meyer says, as long as there's no anchovies on pizza, I'm good with it. No
That's
fish.
disgusting,
exactly right.
dude. Like,
it's gross. Wings of Gumby. In Russia, pizza sends out for you. Exactly right.
Oh.
By the way, do you guys worry about nukes in Russia?
Oh, God.
Do you think that happens?
I don't think it happens just because of, like, if you're Russia, you know what's coming to you.
Yeah, I agree. Jansen, what's wrong with dino-shaped chicken nuggets? I still eat those because they're good.
You eating those with ketchup or ranch, bro? Or are you a fry sauce guy?
The best thing that I like that I never eat, and I don't know that I've ever had them, but I want one. I like those breaded chicken patties that you get frozen at like Costco.
Dude. Yes.
Oh my
yes,
God.
Dude, they're bomb.
Mrs. Monty's like, no, you're fat. You're not eating those.
What's wrong with you?
Leave those alone, Chubbs. Let's go get some high fiber cereal.
Leave those alone, Chubbs.
She will not let me buy them.
Well,
she won't, and I'm glad because frankly, she's my litmus test on pretty much anything I eat.
Right.
Here's what's going to happen, Tonto.
Those are so good.
Yes.
Like, I'm telling you, Tostino's pizza rolls, Pop-Tarts. I said Pop-Tarts.
Right, Pop-Tarts.
You didn't say bomb.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
You don't like Pop-Tarts?
I just wasn't a Pop-Tart kid. I wasn't,
They're
I
not
didn't,
that
I
great,
didn't say
dude.
I didn't
God.
like them. I
God.
said that I didn't have a lot of them as a kid, so I'm not on that train.
God, will you please allow Jake's balls to drop so that
You want to?
No, bro. Now, if we had a toaster strudel.
Do you know what that's like these days?
I what? How do you not like Pop-Tarts? Double chocolate?
This world is my balls and my word.
And he ain't
I
got
don't
either
break
one.
'em for no.
Like, what's wrong? Double chocolate Pop-Tarts are amazing. Put them in the toaster oven, burn your fingers while you eat them. It's
Whatever.
amazing. By the way, did you know that when you boil mastacholi in a pan?
Okay, it's penne.
Okay, anyway, do you know that when you boil
Get your facts
penne chicken burritos?
Yeah.
Did you know that when you boil penne in a pot, the pot gets hot?
3/4 of this is inaccurate.
I totally burned my fingers yesterday. Like, oh, let me move this pot. Ah! Like it was not good.
No.
It was not good. I'm just saying. Kurt Meyer says no balls on pizza, please.
Yeah, thanks.
Extra seasoning if you want.
And I ain't giving up no damn Rice Krispie treats.
Jansen.
I bet you like in Nebraska
Oh my
they make
God.
like Rocky Mountain oyster,
Probably.
Oh,
Probably.
why would you say that? Why,
Makes me want
or
it.
Texas.
dude? It's 8:17. This isn't even the non-sports story part of the show.
I know. Apparently it is.
This is the BYU Utah State portion of the show that's become Pop-Tarts and Rocky Mountain oysters
We still got tomorrow to talk about it. We're fine.
and balls. Jansen says Pop-Tarts are overrated, but they're still very good. They're not overrated. They're not.
They're overrated. They're not that good.
Okay. It's a Boy Lake bringing levity to the show. Pop-Tarts are amazing.
But no one acknowledged my toaster strudel comment. Way better than a Pop-Tart.
Okay. I don't even disagree with you. Ken Williams says Pop-Tarts are nasty. You know what? A, they're not. But B, you know the thing that I want?
What?
I want those stupid little Danish at Costco that you still have not bought me. I asked for those specifically in Maui. Did I get them?
I want it.
Did I get them? Did I get them? I mean, it looks like I ate a whole pallet of them. I didn't because I didn't get them.
Myron.
I mean, I'm like I feel like I'm in a conservatorship. I can't eat what I
Look,
want.
Brittany,
I
take
can't,
it easy.
I poop where I want, but
Wow.
those Danishes are so good. I have salivated over, and I'm sorry if you bought a pack I salivated on, but there's the Danish at Costco.
You're
You
big.
just lean over them and look at them and drool.
No, you're a big malasada guy, right?
Jake.
Are you asking for violence today?
But come on, when we were at the farmer's market and you got those little tiny malasadas, they were
Having fun is the
delicious.
name of
We
the
didn't get, did
Yes, you got the little tiny ones that they filled
we?
with
No,
the...
I'm telling. The win at the farmer's market was that stupid little steamed bun with purple sweet potato in it.
Bao, yeah.
Chow sao bao.
No, it wasn't chow su. That's pork. We got
Same
the
thing.
sweet
Pork.
potato bao.
pork and sweet potato are the same thing. Where did you go to school? Where did you go to school?
Probably San Diego State.
Karen Montsmayer says BYU are the Pop-Tarts, Utah State are the Rocky Mountain Oysters.
Hey.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate you for that. Lopes fan Gabe says toaster strudel. Tell me you're rich without telling me you're rich. Well, look at her shirt. $60 shirt.
Take the comment off. Take the comment off.
Okay. $60 shirt, but I'm not allowed to. $60. Now model it. There you go. Please don't shake them. Please.
Wow.
You are going to get the whole world on fire. Daddy. You know what I'm saying? $60 shirt. I'm not allowed to buy toaster strudel at anyway. Are we just all in on this now? Or
I guess. I mean, I don't know. Are people? We can.
Hola Billy says malasadas are amazing. They're not. That's a lie. Monty, eat them all. LOL. His face. Yeah, I'm telling you. It's just biggest Piston benefit was helping the Pistons to win more games with malasadas. Do malasadas help people win more games?
Donuts? Did they have Pop-Tarts or toaster strudels?
These nuts.
Wow.
What? Anyway, Jansen said, I think they are overrated only because people praise them as the best food ever made. They aren't. Well, we all know that Hot Pockets are the best food ever made. Right?
One of my favorite things going to school.
Sausage, cheese, sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys remember, what was the worst thing you ate?
Acid reflux just from that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your gas has been terrible lately.
Bonnie?
But if you look, do you guys remember the worst things you ate in school as a kid, Jake? What was the worst thing you ate?
I don't know.
Oh,
I mean,
Round Lake Senior High School, pizza puffs and ranch dressing. Furthermore, pizza puff dipped in mayonnaise.
There was a thing in elementary school. There was a thing where the pizza was so greasy you had to like dry it off.
Oh, that's called Costco pizza.
Yeah, but like this was like 10 times worse. Costco, I actually don't think is that bad. But.
Look at the look on your face. Like
Oh.
Tell me you didn't eat terrible things from the lunch lady.
You know what stands out in my head was like they used to give us sometimes these like bean and cheese burritos that were horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. Like
bean and cheese
cardboardy
burritos?
kind of tortilla and just flavorless.
No. There was and I don't even know if it's still there. I spent 1 year in hell at Round Lake Senior High School, or maybe 2 years. I don't know. I try to black it out. There was a hot dog stand in that crap hole town called Scotty's Hot Dogs. Yeah. Scotty's Red Hots. The best.
Yeah.
The best pizza puff was at Scotty's Red Hots. Oh, my God.
There you go.
So good. So good. I don't know. Giggity. Hot Pockets are lava bombs exploding in your mouth.
Dude, seriously.
They're
Third
amazing.
degree burns in your mouth.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, of course, yeah. But that's only because you microwaved them while you were playing Super Mario Brothers.
Right.
So you didn't have time to let them cool. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you had to hammer them between games.
Jansen says Hot Pockets or pizza rolls are the best. I agree. I'm telling you. Again, another thing I'm not allowed to eat because of somebody who pays $60 for pineapple T-shirts.
I want it.
Tostino's pizza rolls.
With ranch.
That's what I'm saying. Mini tacos.
Disgusting.
You remember those mini tacos from Costco that you would get in the box? We had them at a Super Bowl party one year.
Yes, dude. They were bomb.
I may have thrown up 12 times after I ate those.
Well.
And I went back and got 12 more. It was amazing. Canned peas, worst thing ever. Oh. The water. As a kid, you want to know the trauma that I have as a kid? My mom was a huge canned vegetable fan. Mm-hmm. So, like, she would, and this is why I won't eat beets ever. Just take your beets and go to hell.
I started having second thoughts.
Beets are delicious. But
my mom would buy beets in a jar.
Jar?
At Jewel, in a glass jar. And she would drink the beet juice.
Oh, dude, why?
My mom would make.
No, that's wrong.
My mom would make canned vegetables pretty much every day.
Vexes me.
The next time I see anybody drink the water out of water chestnuts, it's like, I'm telling you, it's the worst thing ever.
Vexed.
It's traumatizing.
That's gnarly. I mean, that's worse than the Russian pizza. Come on.
Beet juice? I will never eat a beet again. I won't. Mrs. Monty and I did a juice fast, and she used to juice the F out of beets. Nah, bro. Nope. Like,
beet juice is really good for you when it's freshly done. I would never drink it out of a jar. That's disgusting. But, like, fresh beets are delicious. A little butter on those.
No, they're not.
Oh, so good.
Somebody lied to you.
No, I've had them.
Yeah,
they're delicious.
Like I said, somebody lied to you.
You were abused as a child, and now I know that your mother is definitely not right if she was drinking that stuff out of a jar.
Beet juice. And the other thing that I hated, we used to, so I grew up in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of great little, small business, Mexican grocery stores in Chicago.
Yeah.
And so they make these onion, and Mrs. Monty loves these things, by the way.
Yeah.
Onion, radish, death spirals.
Pickled vegetables where you get get jalapeno, you get carrot, you get onion. Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
My mother used to drink that juice.
Dude, what was it with your mom and juice? Jesus.
No, that's vinegar. You're drinking
Bro.
vinegar. That's disgusting.
He is a sick puppy.
No, I'm not doing
Dude.
it. I won't. I'm not doing it. Boiled okra? Who does boiled okra? Drazad says boiled okra is the worst thing ever.
Makes me want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It is.
Gnarly, man.
Corned beef hash, gross. Yes. Was it corned beef that we used to get? Do you guys remember as a kid, lunch? Your mom would get lunch meat, or whatever, and make sandwiches. We used to get, and I can't remember the brand. It used to come in a red box. My mom, once a month, would buy us corned beef. I think it was so good, so good as a lunch meat. But I'm also the guy that likes liverwurst.
Okay,
I love that stuff.
Yeah, something's wrong with him.
Liverwurst and ranch dressing on white bread is a life hack.
Nope.
Yes, it is. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
San Diego State Aztec says, Monty, I smoked 2 joints in the afternoon, then I smoked 2 more. Hurling the hot pocket.
This?
I smoked 2 joints in the morning. Not Bud. Oh no, Buddig is amazing. Buddig lunch meat. You just open up the pack and because it comes in a big clump and you just eat all of it at one time. I'm fat.
Oh, we used to have Buddig, the ham, the
yes.
really thinly shaved
yes.
ham.
Yes.
And it's kind of like in a wad.
Yes.
And you,
wad.
Oh my God. We used to slice a chunk of a little bar of cream cheese, roll it up inside of Buddig ham. Yes. It's so delicious.
Lopes fan Gabe, you're never coming to my home again. Catch me as a little kid pounding cans of Vienna sausage like a boss.
Oh my God, yeah, dude, we loved Vienna sausage.
That's amazing.
Oh, deviled ham. Did you ever have the little deviled ham?
No, what is deviled ham?
In a little tiny can. Jake, look up deviled ham.
But you also, you freak, you also like Spam. You're like, oh yeah. Hey, can I get some Spam and liver juice mixed together?
Bro, what is this? Deviled ham?
Yeah.
Why do you like Spam?
I don't love it, but every once in a while a Spam musubi is good.
Deviled ham
is
ground ham mixed with spicy seasonings like chili peppers, cayenne peppers, and mustard.
Come on.
Deviled ham on a sandwich. Come on, someone in the comments.
It's like
it's
like tuna.
Pate,
it's like a.
Did you say it's like a pate?
Yeah, and you like liverwurst, so.
Hey, Claw.
Bro.
Deviled ham tastes better.
Oh. I just think of
Bro, how did we get here?
I don't know because
we're talking about deviled ham.
She takes over the show. She shows up wearing a shirt with that rack, and what am I supposed to do? Stop it.
Okay, bye.
Deviled ground ham. Get out of here.
And it's very powerful.
Kenai Johnson says Spam fried egg sandwich is beast mode.
Oh, dude.
I would do that.
Bro.
God, Lord. Jeff Bevan says, facts, Mrs. Monty. Spam wasabi is fabulous. Dude. I honestly feel abused. I feel like somebody.
Well, you were abused.
I feel regularly, routinely.
Right, but,
and I was never beaten as a child. Ken says, I like Spam with eggs. Okay. I'm okay. Fried Spam with garlic fried rice is delicious.
Ooh.
Utah Home Loan says musabi.
Okay.
Musubi.
Same thing. Subi flow. Kurt Meyer says head cheese. Stop.
That's disgusting.
Head cheese.
Wings
Jake,
of Gumby
look up
says
head cheese.
No,
You've never seen
please.
head cheese before.
Don't.
Go ahead. Look it up.
Don't.
People still eat it. I don't even know why.
Jake?
Sometimes you just know.
Jake, do not trust her.
Oh my
do
God.
Not, see?
Oh my God.
I told
what?
you.
What?
I told you.
I looked at it for 2 seconds and had to go back.
I told you not to do it.
That was horrifying.
Yeah.
Don't.
Dude.
Don't. I'm telling you. Zayman says, Mrs. Monty just full on mic dropped on Monty. You like liverwurst.
You're picking on liking a Vienna sausage. You're picking on liking deviled ham, and you like liverwurst.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Kurt Meyer says, when my dad cooked, even the dog left the house.
The dog was like, no, that's fine.
San Diego State says, Monty, what do? You gawk. Duh. Exactly right. Hey, baby.
Keep it
real.
Wow.
All right, 8:30. Go feed the dogs.
Wow. Get out of here.
8:30, Monty in the morning. Every day live on YouTube, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. If you've been in an accident, you need help. Trust me when I say you want somebody to fight for you. That's why you go to the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. Chat with them on their website. I'm telling you that I've known Matt Driggs and those guys for over a decade. When you're in a pinch and you need somebody to fight for you, it is the Advocates. There's no doubt. You don't pay any consultation fees. There are no huge retainers. We don't do that. No, at the Advocates, you don't pay until they win your case. That's how confident they are that they can help you. UtahAdvocates.com. The Advocates present the Monty Show right here on YouTube, live and on your phone every single morning. I think the biggest story in sports this morning, to reset here, I think it's twofold. This hurricane is awfully close.
Yeah, dude.
Awfully close to being a Cat 5. It is 155 miles an hour. Winds off the coast of Florida, approaching Fort Myers, Naples at the moment. They're surmising that this will make landfall between Fort Myers and Tampa, the eye of the storm, and it is close. Like, I mean, the outer rings of the hurricane are on the coast of Florida as we sit here and watch. I mean, the storm surge is just dominating the Bahamas, and I mean, Cuba overnight absolutely took a beating. Essentially, the entire state of Florida is getting just shellacked right now.
Yeah.
So absolutely keep an eye on that. But this storm is absolutely a behemoth. If you know people in Florida, please check in on them. Encourage them to evacuate. Get to South Florida. That's really where you're at. In my opinion, that's where you're safe. I just, man, be cool.
Yeah.
M. Shepard says, Monty and Jake making me laugh out loud while on Front Runner. I'm getting weird looks from everybody in this car. Sorry, sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Dax Johnson says, hey, love the show. Got most of my tools stolen today at work. On the site, this show is getting me through that. Appreciate the hard work, fellas. Go Cougs.
Damn,
Dax, I'm sorry to hear that.
Dude, I'm sorry, man.
It is, and you know what? It's funny. I was talking to one of the guys at Maverick Center the other day, talking about how his tools got stolen in his carport. He has a locked cover on his truck, and somebody took a brick and just beat the hell out of this lock. And I'm like, how did that not wake you up? And he's like, yeah, my master bedroom's in the basement.
Yeah.
And they took all of his power, his DeWalt power tools.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, Dax. Glad we could help. Thanks for the $4.99. Man, that sucks. NY Jazz fan says, Dax, sorry to hear that, man. Some people are just such a joke. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely, they are. Like, and that's the thing, like breaking in or robbing somebody's work truck, you're just a jerk, man. Like you have no empathy for what that person's doing. And do you think he's got a truck full of tools because he isn't working for a living? I think he's driving around wasting gas on that. Like, that's crazy. I think the Donovan Mitchell Utah Jazz stuff, I think, is absolutely a story this morning. Donovan Mitchell just won't stop talking about the Utah Jazz. And, I love Donnie. I think everybody here knows that I'm a Don guy. I'm a supporter of Donovan Mitchell. I think he's going to have a huge year this year. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are better for it. I think the Knicks are worse off not having him. But Donovan Mitchell needs to move on now because the things he continues to say, and I want to play this video and I want you to understand, and we probably should have had the question on this next time. He was not asked anything about the Utah Jazz in this clip, but listen to how much he talks about the Jazz.
I've made it to the playoffs every year. Ultimately, I haven't gotten to the end goal, and that's what I'm looking to do here. I think and my goals align with our team's goals, which makes it easier. But for me, it's no secret I haven't won. I haven't won. We didn't win in Utah. We didn't get the job done as a group. So now that I'm here in Cleveland, that's the goal. It's not just to make the playoffs, but to go deep into the playoffs. And
I mean, listen, I get it. So we didn't get it done as a group. We didn't win in Utah. My goal is to not make the playoffs. It's to go deep into the playoffs.
Not sure our philosophies are aligned.
I mean, just taking shot after shot, and I don't understand it. There is clearly underlying bitterness because he also said this, which if you're a Jazz fan, this is the one that should really bother you.
A lot of it, like you just said, is I don't have to do as much offensively. So I'm able to lock in, on those possessions, and I'm not tired, as tired. Getting in better shape to be able to play both sides of the ball. It's not the ability. I can play defense. I know that for a fact, and I haven't shown that, and that's what I'm looking forward to do here.
So did you really just say you weren't in good enough shape in Utah to play defense?
I think that's what he said, but I think what he was trying to say is that the reason he wasn't in good enough shape is because he had to play offense too much, that he had to carry the load too much on offense, so he was tired on defense.
You think that's what he was saying?
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
I don't know, man.
I think that's kind of a shot at what the roster was in Utah.
Let's play it again. What is Donovan Mitchell saying he was not in good enough shape to play defense?
A lot of it, like you just said, is I don't have to do as much offensively. So I'm able to lock in, on those possessions, and I'm not tired, as tired. Getting in better shape to be able to play both sides of the ball. It's not the ability. I can play defense. I know that for a fact, and I haven't shown that, and that's what I'm looking forward to do here.
I see what you're saying. He just said he's not in good enough shape to play defense because he had to spend so much energy on offense.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, that's part of being a pro. I don't know. I just feel like he needs to move on now. That's what this feels like to me. Like, dude. Don needs to move on from Utah.
He's playing the grass is greener on the other side of the fence card. He's saying, hey, well, now that I'm here, I don't have to do as much offensively, so I should be able to play better defense, which basically is another way of saying, the roster we had in Utah, wasn't good enough, so I had to carry too much on offense, which really hurt me on defense. Okay, I guess, cool. Why not just say, I'm really excited about playing with, as they refer to Darius Garland, DG. I'm really excited about playing with DG and Evan and everyone we got here, and I've been working really hard on my defensive game because I know that's been kind of a weak point in my game as an NBA player.
It feels unnecessary.
Yeah, you could easily not have said that, and we've gotten some comments today about how we're just blowing this out of proportion, and we're making too much of it, and I don't think we're making too much of it, and the only reason I say that is because it's not as though he was asked a direct question like, hey, Donovan, do you feel like the roster when, this past season in Utah made it so that you had to carry too much offensively and you were tired on defense? Okay, now you can talk about it.
But you got to be a professional.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point you have to – it's a two-way game. Defense wins championships in this league.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're saying, hey, stop talking about the Jazz, Don. With all due lack of respect, stop talking about the Jazz. We get it. You're pissed off. You're bitter. Okay, whatever it is you are.
Yeah.
You need to stop bringing up the fact, well, we didn't win in Utah. Hey, I want to go deep into the playoffs, not go.
Like, we get it. You're bitter.
We get it. And it's really frustrating to me. He just needs to move on.
And on the other side of it, before we get to these comments, the media is not helping themselves once again. I mean, if you, again, go look around, the media on Twitter. Go look at, Eric and Andy and Tony, and look at some of these Twitter feeds and see what they're saying and tell me that the Jazz media is not bitter about Donovan, and how this all went down. Try to make that case when you're reading the stuff that they're saying.
Jeff Bevan, the beard. By the way, Jeff Bevan has another local business guy. You want to talk about side hustles?
Yeah.
Jeff Bevan, and Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, he does everything from vending machines, but he's got a great beard product business.
Oh.
He does beard conditioners, all kinds of great stuff. You know who you need to hook up with is Teddy Wayman.
Dude,
because Teddy's got that beard
for
dude.
Days, bro.
He says, all talk, I believe Don can play defense, but I will be surprised if he does on a consistent basis. Could be. Yep. M. Shepard says, bless your heart, D. Mitch. Brian Clegg says, too tired to play defense. Give me a break. Sounds like excuses. I
Facts.
agree. Brent Burnett says defense is factored as a team. Yeah, but your individual components are what make you a great group. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just don't. Yeah, Jansen says, I agree with Jake, but I just don't like DM statements. I agree. Dallin says, get in better shape. He was paid $25 million to play basketball at your job. That's what I'm saying.
Agreed.
That's what I'm saying. Brent Burnett says, spite it just being real. I love it. Okay. Okay. M. Shepard says, didn't the Jazz consult D. Mitch while building the roster? They did. They did. They had consistent talks throughout the mid part of last year into the summer. So it is what it is. MI Jazz fan says, there will be issues in Cleveland. You watch. Egos, iso ball, wanting to be the guy in Cleveland will cause tension.
We'll see. And if that does happen, then that's an indictment on Donovan Mitchell. I mean, there's no way around that.
Yeah. We'll see. Rudy Sanchez says, do you think Mitchell was moved to New York? If Mitchell was moved to New York, he would be making these comments. Sounds like he's sour about being traded to the Cavs instead of the Knicks. I don't know. I've heard that a lot. I don't think he's upset being in Cleveland. He's a great fit there.
Yeah.
He is a great fit there. He's going to win now versus not.
The guy is pissed that it didn't work out in Utah. Like, let's be honest about it. You went to the postseason 5 times and didn't get the damn job done. Like, he's upset about it. And I don't hold that against Don. I don't blame Don for it. I'm not salty about it. I just think that Donovan has proving to do. Like, now Donovan's turning into a guy who's on this new team. And the talking's got to stop. Now it's time to show me you've got a mid-range game. It's time to show me that you put time into your legs so we stop with the ankle injuries and the soft tissue stuff. It's time to show me that hero ball 25, 40-footer threes when things get difficult have gone away for you, and you're going to go to the mid-range and rely on that mid-range. I need to see improvement. He's got to do that if he's going to continue to say whatever the hell he wants.
I'll just continue to say that I believe Donovan Mitchell will be a top 5 player in this league.
Wow.
He will be. And I think this
year... He better
year,
be.
Well, I mean, I think that there's a real good chance he scores 30 points a game this year. I honestly, they may have too much offense. They may have too much offense on that team. Evan Mobley's a hell of a player. DG is a hell of a player. Kevin Love can really shoot it. Like, I would not be surprised if he comes out and gives them 30 points. I just wouldn't. That's me, and I know that they have a lot of guys that are trying to break in and become full-time players and full-time stars and establish something for themselves. So they went to trydaytrading.com/Monty because they didn't want to grind on the 9 to 5 anymore.
Incredible.
Facts. They wanted to establish something for themselves, which is what we all want to do. Get out of your side hustle grind. Because I'm telling you now, day trading is absolutely real. It is something you should look at. You can scale it into a full-time business. You can work for yourself. You can make that money you've been trying to make. Make sure you get to trydaytrading.com/Monty. It's called Try Day Trading. You should try day trading because they're going to teach you how to do it. They're going to train you. They're going to mentor you. They're going to coach you. And then you're going to trade their money, not yours. And if you make money on their money, they're going to give you 50% of the profit. That's the best part. And the other best part is it's free to find out if it's a fit for you. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Register for the free webinar. Watch it and then make a decision. There's no obligation. You're not roped into anything. If you watch that webinar, I think the thing that you should be worried about is you're going to realize how lucrative day trading is. You're going to realize that you've been losing tens of thousands of dollars by not day trading, and you're going to want to get involved in it. That's what you should be thinking because you don't need to be doing Amazon FBA. You don't need to be doing all these side hustles when you can take day trading and turn it into your full-time gig. Stop working for the man. Start working for the man yourself. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. They're a local business. They're in Lehigh. Ryan and the guys are great people to do business with. No matter where you listen to this show, you can absolutely work with the guys at TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Check it out. Watch the free webinar. Tell them you heard about it on The Monty Show. A couple more comments on Don and the Jazz. Let's see. Are the Cavs really going to win a chip? We all know that answer. Basically the same as the Jazz at their best with Don. Don will be disappointed again in Cleveland in 2 to 4 years. It just depends. What does Darius Garland turn into? The issue with Donovan Mitchell in his roster here in Utah was there was nobody else that was even close to him.
Yeah.
He's by far the best player. Bogey was at his ceiling. Conley was at his ceiling. Rudy was not going to be an offensive force in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And Don was not willing, in my opinion, to play defense. And he also didn't trust his teammates offensively. And I think the minute, some people have told me the minute that Bogey missed that shot in Dallas that Don knew he had made the right decision not to trust his teammates.
Yeah.
And I think that's when he was all in on roster reconstruction.
Yeah.
And the minute that Bogey missed that shot in Dallas, Rudy Gobert was gone. And I think that the formative foundation, if you will, of this rebuild started with that bogey miss.
Yeah.
And it's just, but it goes back to the trade deadline. So I just don't think that Don had a running mate. They never got him somebody to play with here.
Clearly.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
Jeff Bevan says the transition was smooth. Monty is the smoothest transitioner in the game. Facts.
Yeah, bro, and we ain't even got all the tools yet for it. You're going to
You know.
see some more stuff coming.
Marlon Shaw says Ian Zywall expected to make landfall in the next 15, 20 minutes. Yeah,
we got Buddy, the news reporter, out here in the rainstorm, just, getting absolutely lit by this storm. Yeah, thank you. It's so funny. CNN's on in the background. The guy's wearing a green jacket too. It's funny.
Just like it's amazing.
Like literally the same thing.
It's amazing what they do to. Why are you putting reporters in the middle of this stuff? I don't get it. They've always got on the.
For a fact, that's what it is, man.
They've always got on the ball cap that's soaking wet. They've got on the jacket that's soaking wet.
Make sure that's branded though. That jacket,
This storm is no joke though. It's 155 miles an hour. Just short of a Category 5. It is expected to make landfall between Fort Myers and Tampa on the Gulf Coast. This is a real deal, dude. Like,
y'all feel me?
This is nothing to joke about or play games with. I mean, this storm is massive. Absolutely decimated Haiti and Cuba. The power is out in Cuba. Like, they have no power infrastructure. Like, this is a big, big deal.
Yeah, man.
And I think when you see the magnitude of this storm, I again just say, I don't know how people in Florida continue to do it. I really don't. And I just wish you the best. Marlon Shaw, everybody else, man, I don't know how you don't pull the evacuation string there. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy. Lee Christensen, the Jazz had the best offense in the NBA. He honestly says he had to do too much on offense. He's 25. Right, you had the best offense in the NBA because you were one-dimensional. You were a three-point shooting team. The best teams in the NBA, I just go back to Golden State.
Yeah.
They're always at the rim.
Yeah.
But they kill you with the three-point shot. That's what this team didn't have. And they didn't have a consistent mid-range player. And Bogey tried to be that. Don tried to be that. But that's not something you could just hit a switch on. That's not something that you can do easily, quickly, readily.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why I always had an issue with the best offense in the league, because it's on paper. It's not an actual reality. They may score a bunch of points every night in the regular season, but when it comes to playing the Clippers or the Dallas Mavericks or a playoff team, you see what happens. And that's why I say I don't even disagree with what Donovan is saying, man. What I have a problem with is you continue to go backwards. I'm a big believer in just go forward, be positive, like just go,
Yeah, I don't like revising history, and I think we do it far too often.
Yeah.
I do. I think we do it far too often. Kay Nurin says Zach is coming back this week. He will take the Jets to the playoffs.
Yeah.
KK.
We'll see.
The Jets, A, are not a playoff team. B, I think Joe Flacco is far outperforms Zach Wilson. And I think Zach's got to prove he's healthy. I think we all recognize that Joe Flacco's not a full-time quarterback anymore.
Yeah, it's a problem when Joe Flacco's outperforming you. You have to show what you're capable of.
Zach has never really shown that he's a number one.
Yeah.
He's not justified that pick of the New York Jets at number 2 with him. It just, to me anyway.
It's a problem. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Let's see. NY Jazz fan says, Jaren greater than Zach Wilson. Hero ball loses games, but the moms love it. Ask Giselle.
Excuse me, it's Jizzy?
It's Jizzy. It's Giselle's Bunchton.
Yeah, thank you.
I do agree, though, that Jaren Hall's a better quarterback than Zach Wilson was.
Yeah.
I think, and it's because it was Wyoming, but I think what we saw from Jaren Hall against Wyoming was nothing short of spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
The throws he made, the back throw, shoulder throw, the touchdown,
just flat out getting it done.
The ball to Isaac Rex on the sideline.
Yeah, Isaac Rex, Keanu Hill, all the passes that he made in that game, I think just kind of show you he's improved a lot, and I think that he's getting a lot of kudos because he's doing this without his best talent, and that he deserves credit for that.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the more interesting angles is that you're playing Utah State tomorrow, and this rivalry is coming to an end now. I mean, when you look at Utah State versus BYU, this has truly been a historic rival. This has truly been one of those situations where this has been a game that I think fans on both sides of the line look forward to. The old wagon wheel, and I think the injury history, whatnot. But BYU ended this series because they are going into the Big 12, and they needed roster room. But I thought it was interesting that you're adding Southern Illinois,
right?
The Salukis, to the schedule in 2024. I mean, is BYU and Utah State a game that should be played annually?
I think if you're in the state of Utah, yes. Nationally, nobody cares. I think that's just what it is. And I think if you listen to Kalani, he said that he hopes that they're able to renew it after they join the Big 12, because that's the only reason they're not playing it, is because of scheduling conflicts and having to handle business. So I wouldn't be surprised. And same goes for the Holy War. I mean, I think that Utah and BYU, obviously Utah is going to have to figure out how to get into the Big 12 if they're going to move conferences, which I would expect. But
I don't have any doubt that we're going to get Utah and BYU.
Well,
I think it's going to be a long time before we see the Aggies and the Cougs on the field together. I don't know that it's a priority. And frankly, the disaster that is Utah State football right now does not help. I mean, Logan Bonner is not a good quarterback right now. He's throwing 8 interceptions.
Yeah.
And when you look at how far this Aggie program has fallen, I mean, I don't know how you fix this.
It's a disaster.
You understand, you're looking at a program that at Utah State that's likely not going to play a bowl game. I mean,
how's that even possible?
I don't know. With the amount of talent that's in this state, the history and tradition at Utah State, it's unthinkable that this team can't win 6 games a year. It's unthinkable that Logan Bonner is this bad. And this is why I go back to, Utah State, the coaches ripping the fans. And this is the problem at Utah State. You've lost perspective on who you are and where you are. When your fans are booing you, you should be understanding of that.
Yeah.
Logan Bonner has been awful. Awful. He deserves to be booed.
8 INTs in the last 2 games.
They have not performed. And when you're throwing more picks than TDs, you should be booed. And the issue now is, when's the last time that Utah State was at one point a 24.5-point dog to BYU? And that's not a slight on BYU. That's a tip of the cap to Aggie tiers.
Yeah.
Like, Utah State has had a solid football program. But you're just not that guy anymore, pal. Like, you're not.
Yeah.
And I look at Utah State, and it makes me wonder, what is the future of this program? Because I really have no idea. I mean, if you figure that at some point the Mountain West winds up merging with somebody or most of its teams,
which feels appropriate,
most of its teams are going into a significant conference. I just don't understand. I just don't understand why Utah State is where they are. It's unfathomable.
Yeah, I mean, it just is. Obviously, it's deep. I mean, it's layered. Obviously, there's a lot to it. But I think that, they just are going through it. Like, I don't think there's one reason. Like you're going through it. I think when your quarterback is not playing well, the head coach's wasn't it the head coach's son had passed away? Committed suicide. Like, you just have a lot happening in the program, man. It just is what it is.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate. And I think the thing that sometimes we lose perspective on is that at 10 to the hour every hour, we do Football at 50 on this show, presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza. Is Utah State a brand that should be on BYU's schedule every year?
It's getting more difficult to say it is.
I agree, and BYU fans, you've made your point very clear. Jeremy Bolton says Utah State is like blue cheese of Utah. No one gives an F.
Damn.
Wow. Okay. Tanner Plummer says the Utah State of 2000 is back. That's not good. NY Jazz fan says a USU alum and BYU fan, no. This should not be an annual game. The Aggies will always be terrible. BYU and U of U need to focus on building powerhouses.
Agreed.
Power.
Power.
Zayman says Zach has better arm strength, but Jaron is so accurate. those back shoulder throws were crazy good. I actually think Jaron's vastly improved as a quarterback, and I think that includes his arm strength.
Absolutely.
I think his arm strength is significantly better. I don't know who's got a better arm. I don't know. I think Jaron Hall's a better quarterback.
Yeah.
Zach has better arm strength. I already read that one. He quoted it twice. Beats are good for your heart. Okay, thanks.
Neat.
They are. Dallin Sproul says Pac-12 will now be Mountain Pac if they want to survive. Well, that could be, seriously. Rant says Utah State had a good squad last year. They'll beat Oregon State. Utah State's been solid. Utah State's never going to consistently beat BYU, and certainly not Utah. But when Utah State's able to steal recruits.
Yeah.
Utah State's able to go out and recruit. Okay, you're going to win games. Are you not doing that anymore? You have great facilities coming and in place. Like, you've had the opportunity. You just are not consistent. I don't know what the issue is. I really don't.
Yeah.
Jeff Bevan says fastest way to warm up your seat is to criticize the fans. You know the ones that pay your salary.
Facts, dude,
exactly
facts.
right, Bev. I mean, there's no doubt about that. You know, Jansen says Utah State's in Ogden, right? No, it's not. It's in Brigham City. I think we all know that, right?
Okay. Good
or
talk.
is it Farmington?
Yeah.
Same thing. Boyd Lake says, I like the USU game, but every other year is plenty.
Yeah.
Kurt Meyer says, Jaron is already married and doesn't need any cougar tail to perform. Jaron is a good QB.
Facts.
Well, Zach had a girlfriend, but that didn't stop him, Tanner said. Wow.
True.
Wow. Dallin Sproul says, Jaron had a 62-yard bomb Saturday. I think he's got plenty of arm for the NFL. He does. I agree. Tanner Plummer, the one thing that Zach has over Jaron is that he utilizes the tight end more. Like, Isaac Rex is an interesting guy.
I'm not sure.
I mean, when Dallin Holker quits the team, it's clearly a problem with the quarterback, right?
Idiots.
Idiot. Oh, I got targeted 5 times or 6 times, caught 5 passes. Better quit the team. They're not using me enough.
Jaron is not biased. He will throw to the open man.
Ed Wynn says, just caught up. Did we really talk about food for an hour? No, 30 minutes.
Okay, it was 35 minutes. All right, relax.
Yeah, it only felt like an hour.
Jesus.
Hello. Marlon Shaw says, BYU should use their limited future out-of-conference games to still get games in all parts of the country to keep exposure maximized. Well, and I think that's right. I think the win, look at Utah. The win for Utah is they're recruiting in Florida. They're recruiting in California, Texas.
Yep.
BYU needs a pipeline, and it's got to be not missionaries. It needs to be a Texas pipeline, a Florida pipeline. You got to get off, if you're going to win at a high level in college football, you got to get offensive linemen out of the Midwest.
Yes.
Right? Like, so you've got to develop that, and being in the Big 12 certainly will do that for you. Man, this is a hot topic. Should they play every year? Kay Nurin says, Golden Sea had liver and onions. I ate them all. Good Lord.
Stop.
Do you mean
Stop,
Do you mean Golden Corral? Did you?
You
Kay?
went to Golden Corral.
No, sir. He went to Golden Sea.
You went to Golden Sea and had liver and onions?
Oof.
Bro, what?
No, bro. Because we all know that Golden Corral is not the place of choice. Papa Murphy's is.
No one goes all in on made-from-scratch freshness like Papa Murphy's. We go all in on quality. All in on craft. And on the Triple Pep Pizza, we go all in on pepperoni. Because when you go all in, people notice. Go all in with a limited-time Triple Pep Pizza, topped with 3 types of pepperoni for just $11.99. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Hey, Papa Murphy's presents Football at 50, 10 of the hour, every hour on the Monty Show. Make sure you use promo code Monty25, Monty25, for 25% off your order of $25 or more. Do people really eat at Golden Corral? Is that true? Is that like a real thing?
Yes, you did.
No, it like that's not real, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Don't you touch my mixer, sir.
First of all, it's our mixer.
Okay.
I'm gonna get medieval on your ass.
What's the other one?
What?
Chuckarama.
Chuckarama.
Golden Corral or Chuckarama?
I don't know. Ask dude.
Or you like buffet? Well, that's in Phoenix, though.
Yeah.
Still the best name ever.
Yeah.
Chuckarama or Golden Corral? Your thoughts. Let's comment. The Monty Show presented by the Advocates. Utah's best injury attorneys. There's no doubt about that. It is the Advocates.
You've been in an accident and now you're injured. Though it wasn't your fault, you now have to deal with getting your car fixed, mounting medical bills, and insurance companies who don't play fair. But don't worry. The experienced team at the Advocates are here to get you the support you need.
The Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com, present the Monty Show. Looking at the latest on Hurricane Ian,
dude,
it is close to making landfall. Like it is right there, and this thing is incredible. Like the flooding in Miami, my good gracious. Here's the other thing I don't understand. I'm also looking at pictures online.
Yeah.
And you're looking at packed roads in northern Florida.
Uh-huh.
Did you really wait till this morning?
I mean,
maybe
they had second thoughts.
You waited till this morning.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Are you kidding me? Do you the danger is real, man. Like this is real life and death. And you waited till this morning to bail on your area and to evacuate when this is the storm that you're facing?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I don't know, man. It's just not. I don't know why you would do that. Like, I don't know. Like, and maybe Marlon, if you're still listening, you can kind of explain this.
That's amazing.
What is the process for deciding if you're going to stay or leave for a hurricane? I mean, is it not like, is it like, hey, anything above Cat 3, we're out?
Yeah, I don't know. Hurricane Ian is a Category 4, 155 mile an hour sustained winds. And looking at where it is, there's a live feed. I mean, it is just about to make landfall. I mean, it is just short. It is just short of a Category 5 hurricane. It is going to make landfall just north. It looks like a Fort Myers, between Fort Myers and Tampa.
The punishment that this storm is going to put down is ridiculous. Like,
I mean, good night, dude. The size, the sheer precipitation that is in this hurricane.
Yeah, man.
Just looking at the live radar on it is terrifying.
And I have to agree. Why would you not just reschedule these games? I mean, look, I know there's TV money on the line and there's a lot of logistics and things at play. Totally understand it. But this is people's livelihoods, man. Like, it's a little bit bigger than football, I feel like.
And the southern Florida flooding, oh, my God.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it is unbelievable. From Marco Island, Sanibel, Cape Coral, Northport, Arcadia. Like, I'm looking at all of these cities. It is 155 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. There's some live footage of the storm. Like, it's spawning like water spouts.
Water spouts.
It's spawning tornadoes in the Gulf of Mexico. There are tornadoes in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, they're called water spouts.
What are we doing? Dude, you got to.
Oh, they're on land,
You
too?
got to get out.
Mrs. Monty is saying that they're on land, too.
Yeah. Let's see. Jeremy Severi says, Ian has the third highest storm surge in the last 100 years.
Gnarly, bro.
Ooh.
This feels like a Katrina-level hurricane.
I don't know. Marlon says the biggest issue is storm surge and flooding. Another point is your home post-2010 with new code. Your home is pretty safe with impact-resistant windows.
But the flooding, though, so here's my thing, and I know, this is kind of going down the rabbit hole here a little bit, but Marlon, how do you protect against the flooding? Like, I know the old sandbag thing, and you sort of fortify, but at a certain point, are you just resigned to the fact that, hey, yeah, I could lose my house today? Is that?
They're
and
talking
I'm
about
not joking.
18-foot storm surges in the peak of this storm.
Are you, Marlon?
Holy
are you,
cow.
in all seriousness, man? Are you in a place with your home where you're hey,
dude, Fort Myers with 9 feet.
Yes,
of storm,
dude.
which means the waves are 9+ feet.
Yes.
Oh my God, this is going to be a catastrophe.
It's scary to me. I don't know that I could deal with this.
I mean, the wall, they're saying the eye wall of the hurricane
dude, the
is
whole
onshore.
state, the whole panhandle is covered by this storm, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, good luck, Marlon, please. Marlon says sandbagging is real.
Is really it.
Is really it. Excuse me. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, man. Dude.
Marlon says I feel perfectly safe in my home. Only real concern for me is power. That is huge because could lead to all your food spoiling. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Absolutely. I mean, be safe, Marlon. I mean, seriously, man. Be safe. New York Jazz fan, NY Jazz fan, says, my boss lives in Naples. He is MIA the past few days. Hope everyone affected is safe and okay. Prayers up to everyone. I mean, it is bad. Saman says, slept in this morning. Did I miss the Harris LaChance interview? No, Harris LaChance missed the Harris LaChance interview today. Hoping to reschedule. We're hoping.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. I'm being asked about Illustrator files, and it's like, hey man,
why are you being asked about?
Everything is anyway. All right, I'll stop. 9:05. We'll keep you updated on Hurricane Ian as it heads for Florida. But one of the bigger stories that we're talking about today is this BYU Utah State thing. Jaren Hall versus Zach Wilson. I think Jaren Hall's a better quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, as BYU gets ready to take on Utah State tomorrow night, 23.5-point favorite. The lines come down one. Well, I mean, what do you make of Jaren versus Zach? I think Jaren Hall. I mean, Zach Wilson had a prolific BYU career.
Yeah.
Who are we kidding? Winds up number 2 in the draft. Like, I think Jaren Hall. His big game numbers are huge. Like, we'll see what he does against Arkansas and Notre Dame. But he's having a really good season. And by the way, he's healthy.
Yeah.
You can only have one, Jaren Hall or Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably go with Jaren. I think that Jaren is probably the better athlete overall. I mean, obviously Zach can run too, but I think that, I don't know, I just like what Jaren's doing so far. That said, that's a week-to-week thing. I mean, if Jaren rolls out against Utah State and is running a bunch and putting himself at risk, I'm not going to like that. I'm not going to be a big fan of that. But if Jaren, it stays on this course and on this path and makes good decisions, then yeah, I probably will go with Jaren. And I think that, by the way, I think Jaren's deep ball has really improved. I mean, the touch, the accuracy, when he takes his shots, like he's just having a good season.
I think the biggest issue is what Boyd Lake just said, and I think it's a really good point. Jaren doesn't play hero ball. Jaren is fine to be conservative. I wish he would get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
He tends to hold the ball a little longer than I would like, but Jaren Hall is a pass-first quarterback, and I like that about him. He uses his legs when he needs to. He doesn't use his legs because he wants to. That's
right.
Like Zach used to just try to make huge play after huge play. I think even with these receivers, Jaren's done a really nice job of taking what you can get, live to play another down, if you will.
Yeah.
And I think that's been a big tip of the cap, and I think it's been a big part of it. Yeah, he has been a very high IQ football player this season.
Yeah.
But this is his only season of doing it. Now, Zach was very much in the same position. He had one great season that got him drafted very high.
Well, that's how it works. I mean,
but that's who Jaren is now. We'll see. Marlon Shaw says, I agree on Jaren Hall. I was really surprised Wilson got to the second pick on only behind Lawrence. I found it interesting. The commentator the other night kept comparing Jaren to Russell Wilson because they're very similar quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, Jaren Hall and Russell Wilson, they look the same. When, like, Jaren's running off right tackle, he looks like Russell Wilson physically.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Which is great because Russell's a very durable quarterback.
Yeah.
But they play very similar. They have very similar games and styles. There's no doubt that John Beck transformed Jaren Hall's mechanics. There's just no doubt. He made him a better quarterback. Jaren, though, now has taken that step and getting on the field and producing and staying healthy.
Yeah.
The guy is having one of the best seasons in BYU modern history. 88% against Wyoming. If he's able to do that again this weekend and then he takes that to Las Vegas and you go on then to take on Arkansas and
yeah.
I mean, he's got a chance to be a first-round pick. There's no doubt about that. He's got to stay healthy and he's got to continue to produce.
Yeah.
That is absolutely the bottom line. But I think there are real comparisons there. Jeremy Bolton says, I know Jaren gets compared to Russell Wilson, but it's crazy sometimes how much like he looks like him on the field. He does. He does.
He does.
He absolutely does. Let's see. Brent Burnett says Jaren Hall has improved, but he doesn't have the same tools as Zach Wilson. We'll see. The only complaints I have about Jaren have really disappeared this year.
Yeah.
He's done a better job of stepping out of bounds. He's done a better job of intelligently running and getting down.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done a better job of not being a running back playing quarterback. Like, he's not taking on hits. He's not challenging linebackers.
Yeah, and I think that the with that, and then you add on the leadership stuff, I just think he brings the complete package that you'd be looking for.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Zeman says Jaren ran 8 times on Saturday, 6 times too many for me. I don't disagree with that. I'd like to see him run 3-4 times a game for effect, frankly. And then have that one play where he breaks somebody off. That's always good.
Yeah.
Jeff Bevan says, Zach reminded me of Johnny Manziel as a quarterback. Jaren is more traditional NFL QB. I would agree, and I think you look at, Logan Bonner, obviously, Cam Rising, Jaren Hall. I think Jaren's the best quarterback in the state for the simple fact that he has all of those tools. I don't like that Cam runs so much by design.
Mm-hmm.
I wish Cam's not a pretty thrower of the football, Jaren is. Cam's not a pretty runner, Jaren is. Cam is not the natural athlete that Jaren is. But Cam's very good under center.
Yeah.
I just think stylistically they're very different quarterbacks. Somebody was asking about, does Cam throw the deep ball that Jaren does? Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah.
But that's not what their offense is about. I mean, you're not running out, great deep, talented wide receivers like they do at BYU, even though they're always hurt.
Yeah.
Although, by the way, again, I think most people heard that Gunnar Romney is going to play tomorrow night.
We'll see what that looks like, though. I mean,
you have the question now for Cam Rising becomes, what do you do without Brant Keithy? Is that a Dalton Kincaid? Is that a Devon Vele? Is that a Solomon Enos? Is that Money Parks? Like, who is that? And do they start throwing to Micah Bernard out of the backfield more? I would think they would.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you're going to have to try some things in this game. I mean, there's not going to be just an easy answer. I mean, you're going to have to, work within the offense, see what the defense gives you, and just go that route. And that's why I think you have to respect what Jaren's doing, because he hasn't had his best talent. He hasn't had a Brant Keithy and then lost him. He had Puka for basically, one quarter? So most of his work here is done without his best talent. And even with Gunnar, I think, Gunnar's going to come back and is going to have to work his way back into game shape. I mean, that's what these couple of games are about. So that's why I say, I mean, if you can have a fully ready to go 100% game ready Gunnar by Arkansas, then I think you're in a great place. But I let's not sit here and sugarcoat it. Jaren has had to do a lot of yeoman's work here. You've had to make Keanu Hill better. You've had to make Chase Roberts better. You've had to do that. And so I think, when I look at Cam Rising, it's his turn to do that now. You're going to have to make Devon Vele better. That's what you have to do.
I would agree. Greg Hawkins, our resident Ute homer, says Cam isn't a natural athlete.
Not the way Jaren is, man.
And again, I didn't say that Cam Rising wasn't a natural athlete. He's not the natural athlete that Jaren Hall is.
Yeah.
Jaren has that it. He's got that extra gear. He's got that in both his arm and in his legs. And his accuracy, I don't know that we've seen a BYU quarterback throw the back shoulder fade the way we're watching Jaren do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is absolutely by design accurate every single time. And it is a lethal weapon in this offense. And I think whether it's Isaac Rex or Roberts or Romney or whoever you're going to end up throwing it to, Miles Davis is another guy that should be catching passes. But, I think that Jaren Hall's playing an incredible quarterback position right now. Brent Burnett says Cam will be fine. Yes, he will. He's a good quarterback.
Agreed.
Boyd Lake says Cam Rising will now be forced to use backups. Jake is right. Jaren has passed the test at BYU already. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Jeff Bevan says Micah Bernard is the obvious choice for me, but now it's time for guys like Money Parks who have talked about their skill a lot, a la Drez Anderson, to actually step up and produce. Money Parks is a very intriguing football player. He is a very intriguing football player because I don't think you need necessarily to run 2 tight end sets. I think Dalton Kincaid is more than capable of playing in the middle of the field. You need to get the ball down the field to wide receivers.
Yeah.
And it can't, the thing that I think Utah struggles with sometimes is you can be a 5-6 yard at a time offense, which is great. But then what happens when you turn around and run the ball for 1 or 2 yards? Now you become 3rd and long way too often.
Yeah.
And I think that at BYU, they've done a better job. Even with their struggles in the run game, I think they've done a better job managing their 2nd and 3rd down distance.
Absolutely.
I mean, because as a quarterback, you make your money on 2nd and long.
Well, and I think that goes back to Jaren being patient and not trying to play hero ball. Because, again, like you look at the Wyoming game, they were just getting, bulldozed for the first probably, 20 minutes of that game. That was Wyoming's game for probably the first 20 minutes. And then Jaren kind of just starts to find that flow. They pick up the pace a little bit. There's, the play call is actually getting in on time. Like, you're getting some of that offensive energy going, and then he hits Keanu Hill, and he gets Isaac Rex, and he makes these throws, and that's how they've gone about winning football games recently. And that's why I think everyone's talking about Jaren.
James Knight says, hey, Mont, did Greg just fish you? He did, but James...
Just a hack.
But, James, that doesn't change the fact you still owe me a case of 4X Gold.
Daddy!
I mean, listen, I don't know how else to say this. Greg can me, but where's my 4X Gold, man?
That's cute. I remember when I had my first beer.
I mean, I can only say so many times that Joe Ingles washed up. And maybe if I get drunk on 4X Gold, I'll think he's good again. Let's find out. Send it to me.
Yeah.
You owe me. You owe me, Dan.
Do it.
I'm kidding. Kurt Myers says, how many interceptions has Jaren thrown this year? I don't think he's thrown one ever. Has Jaren Hall ever thrown an interception? I mean, he is a perfect passer and all things
and stuff.
Praise Jesus. I think 2 interceptions. Am I right? I don't know. Let me look. Jaren Hall stats. He does not turn. Well, the one thing this offense has
has
done
one
better,
interception.
One
on
interception.
the season.
That's right.
Yeah.
He has not turned the ball over at all.
9 TDs, 1 interception.
Wasn't that one interception was USF? Yeah. I mean, they just don't turn the ball over. So, which has really helped them, by the way.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Brent Burnett says none intercepted, 1. He also says Hall has very few turnovers. Biggest issue has been not converting on 4th down. Well, maybe if your kicker, no, I'm not doing it.
Jake.
Ruff's official changed his icon. It's a bulldog now. If BYU doesn't dominate Utah State, they'll be out of the top 25. Well, at 19, you're teetering. I'd love to see them score 70, but this is probably a 38-40 point game.
Ruffs, who are you, bro? A comment that's not trolling?
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with that.
That's very off-brand, sir.
I don't know what to do with that. I don't feel comfortable right now. Where are you at on this game, Jake? BYU, and we'll make our official predictions tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I agree with what Ruffs is saying there. I mean, I think you got to kick the living hell out of Utah State. I think you need to,
still 23?
I think you need to prove a point here. Like you need to say like, hey, yeah, I want BYU to come out fast. Like I'm tired of the hey, we're gonna wait a quarter and a half to get going here. Like I'm tired of that. Like let's get rolling. Let's get pace in the offense early. Like it's so obvious to me that when BYU plays faster, they're in better shape. They move the football down the field. When they play slow, it's not good for them, and they struggle, and they, have to punt. Like, it's very obvious what you need to do, and I would expect them to get going much quicker this week. So, yeah, I mean, I mean, what do you have the number there?
What's that?
Are they still 23.5?
They are still 23.5. It depends. I'm looking for the consensus line.
Well, let's just go with 23.5 for now. I mean, even at 23.5, I mean, that's a big number, but
you think?
I think the over-under was like 60 or something like that. So basically Vegas is saying like, hey, you're going to win this game.
No, I lied. According to the Action Network, the consensus is now 24.5, and the number is 60.
Yeah. So
the money line on this game is 110.
Dude, if you're 24.5 and the number is 60, I mean, that you're basically saying that they got to score probably 50. I mean, right? To go over, BYU's got to score 50. So, yeah, I mean, I would say score for this is probably 45 to 10.
I got to go under on this. I just don't believe in Logan Ponner. And this BYU secondary, any way you slice it on the Cougs,
right?
The secondary's been good.
Yeah.
And we'll see who plays and who doesn't. But I would guess this feels like a 38-point game. They're not covering 24.5. I mean,
I don't know, man.
Just, I mean, let's say they score 30. Let's say they score 40 points.
Yeah, I'm saying they're going to be mid-40s.
You're telling me Utah State's not scoring 2 touchdowns?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Dude, I don't. How?
I think it's like 45-10, 45. Yeah, sure, okay, 14.
I mean, they put up. Throw out Alabama. Can we throw out Alabama where they got?
What
shut
did they
out?
score in the Alabama? They got shut out.
55-0.
Okay, throw out the Alabama game.
Connecticut, they scored 31 points. They won 31-20.
Okay.
Weber State, they lost 35-7. UNLV, they lost 34-24. All of that's turnovers that pretty much lost them that game.
Yeah, I mean,
I gotta think
man,
they score 17.
Okay, they're not scoring more than 20 on BYU. I just can't. I can't see it all. That to me is,
This feels like a 38-17 game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's your feeling. I think BYU's into the 40s in this game for sure. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you only gave up 55. I mean, okay. I mean, I'm probably going to stick at 38-17. I'll really get into it tonight as we prepare for Football Thursday.
Football Thursday.
The Monty Show presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. I feel like 38-17 is the number.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
I don't know how. Boyd Lake says 45-14.
Yeah, I'm with Boyd on that. That's kind of
Brent Burnett says 48-21.
Yeah, dude, they're going to put up points on this team. I'm telling you.
Oof. James Knight says, I'd be happy to send you a case of 4X Gold, but it's generally a man's drink. So what can I send for Jake? I see you saying you're not a man. I mean, James Knight is questioning your manhood.
Well,
I mean, and
I'm the one who introduced the family to 4X Gold, so,
Oh, you are not.
Yes, I am.
I know I'm that good that you're just not going to give me away, so.
Is that what you're saying? You're that
Who do you
good?
think you are playing video drops?
You think you're just...
You think that you can just play video drops now?
I know I'm that good that you...
I know I'm that good. Are you a man, Jake?
Yes.
Okay. I'm saying 38-17.
45-14.
38-17.
Okay.
Okay. Boyd Lake says starting fast means coordinators must adjust to the new look, and the BYU staff has struggled with this. Yeah, it's
Facts.
concerning. It is concerning. Russ Official says 34-17.
Reasonable.
Kay Nurin says Utah State was the only team that would play BYU on Thursday or Friday night for years. Always knew. Well, okay. Jeff Bevan just gives us laughing emojis.
Yeah.
It is what it is. By the way, I want to mention our good friends at Barbecue Pit Stop. Speaking of being a real man.
Being a real man
means that you use a smoker. We don't use propane or barbecue briquettes. No. We use wood pellets on this show.
Mm-hmm.
And usually we do that in a Traeger smoker, but hey, if you're a Yoder guy, if you're a
Yes, you did.
Hey.
Yes, you did.
You like big green egg? I'm down. But it's got to be wood pellet, right? Because that's what smoking's all about. And a lot of people are like, oh, man, hey, Monty, how do I smoke? I'm intimidated. I'm much like Jake. My balls haven't dropped. Okay, well, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is go to Barbecue Pit Stop. They've got big clamps that they can use. Anyway, the point is, go to
big fan of big clamps, huh?
There you go. Go to Barbecue Pit Stop. They're the dudes. They're going to teach you how to use your smoker. It's super easy. And the other great thing about them is the support that you get is ongoing. Like the other day, like the asada spice that we got last weekend.
Oh, good.
I'm telling you, that's what you get. Hey, I'm thinking about making some wings. What spice would you guys recommend? They'll take you back to they have a spice wall. Seasoning, spices, rubs, sauces. They've got a wall. And they're going to say, hey, how about this one? Or this is what this one does. Try that one. Hey, here's the perfect sauce for you. Here's some good dust for your cauliflower wings. Like, they have all kinds of stuff. And they've got equipment. And they've got know-how. Talking to those guys is great. Get on their website. Ask them a question. Hey, do I need to wrap my brisket? Do I really need to let it rest in a cooler? And they're going to talk to you about that on their chat function at barbecuepitstop.com. But, of course, I would always tell you, go find one of their 5 Utah locations from St. George to Logan, Layton, Lehigh, and, of course, our good friends in Salt Lake City and Murray. My guys at Barbecue Pit Stop are the best. They're super easy. Their pricing won't be beat. All of their stores have, The one in Logan, speaking of Aggie tears, when you get thoroughly thrashed up in Logan by BYU, if you're up in Logan, go to Barbecue Pit Stop, get yourself a nice set of pork chops.
Yeah.
At the butcher stop at Barbecue Pit Stop. They have a full professional butcher, full-time butcher counter.
Yes.
I mean, it's unbelievable. That's why you go to Barbecue Pit Stop, bbqpitstop.com. Okay, before we get out of here today,
yeah,
I kind of want to have a conversation about the best convenience store, if you will.
Okay.
Because we find ourselves quite often where you're like, no, I'm not going in there. No, I won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
We may be in some questionable reaches of the greater Salt Lake City area.
Right.
But do you have a preference? Are you a Maverick guy? Are you
Definitely.
a 7-Eleven guy?
Maverick.
What about
a nice Maverick?
The green dinosaur guy that Britt likes. Holiday?
Sinclair.
Britt loves the green dinosaur.
I'm a big fan of Holidays. I like
Holidays.
They're nice convenience store. But nice Mavericks. Like, not all Mavericks are created equal, but the nice ones are really nice. Like, they have nice bathrooms. Like, it feels nice.
Excuse me, it's latrine, please.
Yeah, they have nice latrines. Good variety of snacks. And one thing we don't take advantage of at Maverick too much is, like, for a convenience store, they've got like a full-on kitchen where they make food. So I think that also adds to the Maverick allure for a lot of people.
Well, and the thing for me at Maverick is the selection of energy drinks. Obviously, Maverick's not an advertiser on the show.
Yeah.
But the reason that I go to Maverick, and here's why we're talking about this. We were in a questionable part of the hood.
Yeah.
And Jake refused to go to a 7-Eleven. He's like, no, I'm not going there. Nope. We were driving together in Klaus,
dude.
Klaus the Audi SQ5.
Your ass never gets out of the car and goes in. It's always me going in, so I got to lay down the law and be like,
because
hey,
I
I'm not
drive.
going in.
I'm the one that's driving. Like, the driver doesn't get out. They're always trying to kill the passenger, not the driver.
Right.
And the driver's the one who gets a stray bullet. So I figure if I stay in the
about, man?
Anyway, the point is, listen. So we were in a questionable part of town. We pull into the 7-Eleven. He's like, I'm not going in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going in there. Like Ronin style when they're all going under the bridge.
Yeah.
I'm not going in
I'm
there.
not going in there.
No.
Idiots.
So we went to a Maverick like a block away, 2 blocks away. Hi, Mrs. Monty's like, are you going to let me talk here? No. But we went to a Maverick like 2 blocks away and got the complete cookie and got the rock star. Like, it was all good.
I know what I like.
Yeah. I really do appreciate that stores like convenience stores like that are bringing more like kind of healthy options. So whether it's protein bars or complete cookies or you can get fruit.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
It matters.
God.
It matters,
Can
man. I know.
We
Like,
pay.
I
know
love
we
Pringles.
pay $60 for
good
pineapple
road
shirts
trip
in this house.
food. Man,
And even
some-
though we're not allowed to buy Danish, please let Mrs. Monty know that we can't afford Pringles because she paid $60 for a pineapple shirt in Maui. Thank you, God.
If I believed in gods, I would waste my
Oh,
time.
boy. Here we go.
Here we go.
Not going to waste my time there.
So I don't think there's any doubt that Maverick has the best junk food selection.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No doubt. But I think the other thing that is good about Maverick is the water selection, because as a sommelier, which
He's a
means
water snob.
I am a water snob.
It's not sommelier.
Wholesale. Yeah,
it's
it is.
sommelier.
Look, as a Somalian, let me just tell you that I know water. Look, again, I know water, okay? I'm only drinking one of 2 waters right now.
Listen, right now.
God, thank you for your son's tears to make Avion water. Thank you for Jesus's tears.
What are you
but
talking
I
about,
only
man?
drink right now Core or Fiji.
So Avion's dead to you now.
No, it's just too flippin' expensive.
Oh.
My wife paid $60 for a pineapple shirt. I can't afford Avion.
Fuck it.
I can't afford Avion. So I've become a Somalian about water.
Okay.
And now that I know so much about water,
Right.
Fiji or Core.
Right.
Why are you looking at me like that, Mrs. Monty?
Oh, people. He's such a diva.
Vexes me.
Anyway, I really don't care that you spent $60 on a shirt. It's all I've got to hang on to right now. So that's,
Yeah.
you know.
And you know what? People gave me the cash for that. So
Yeah.
What are the people saying? What are the people saying?
What are the people saying? Ruff's official says, what convenience store in Utah were you afraid to go into? The worst store in Utah is nothing compared to some of the stores in other states. I don't know, man.
Seriously.
I'm not calling anybody out, but Kearns. The point is, sorry, I'll be a little drink some.
Bro. Nothing,
The
like
point is-
literally nothing is going to happen to you.
I'll drop that mother.
At a 7-Eleven.
I don't know, man.
We all say that until someone comes in with a knife, you know?
Yeah, then you get shanked and you're like, oh, nothing happens at 7-Eleven.
So often.
Like, it
The
literally
headlines
happens every
just
day.
crowd the internet of how many people are getting shanked at a 7-Eleven.
But do you guys remember at that Safeway gas station in Phoenix?
Yeah,
where that
that's what
guy
I was
got
going to
shot in the
say. It
face?
happens all the time at that gas station, Come on.
When we lived in the hood,
You know.
I'm a Maverick guy, right? Can we all agree on this? I'm a Maverick guy.
Maverick is a good gas station.
Best bottled water is what?
Well, Evian is, good, but
Ooh.
it does cost too much. Like, I'm not a water snob.
Ooh.
I don't want to drink Aquafina. I am not going to drink Crystal Geyser if I can avoid it. They are just like
Dasani is death.
Yeah,
Dasani is
Dasani.
moldy death water.
It is totally your tap water that they filtered and bottled.
No, okay. Well, let's tell the truth. It's not tap water. They wring out the sweat of inmates' underwear. That's how they get Dasani water.
Likely. Yeah. They actually are stealing water from your neighborhoods. They are taking water from where their plants are at. It is terrible.
You guys,
Just
I
saying.
said inmates under.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of comments, and I have to go.
I have to go.
No.
I know.
Okay.
Bye,
Real quick. Lopes fan Gabe says, and this is a really good point. Yo, any QT along the I-17 in Phoenix is taking your life into your own
what
hands.
are we talking about? Like, come on.
Pied Piper says, I'm going to Phoenix soon for a photo shoot. Where's the best food? There's great Mexican food there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, what's the church place? Taco Guild?
Yes, Taco Guild.
Taco Guild is bomb.
Jeff Bevan says, Maverick all the way. 7-Eleven is likely the creepy uncle now. Smells kind of funny and is dingy.
Yeah.
Greg Hawkins says, hey, man, I grew up in Kearns. It was fine. Things change, 7-Eleven is everywhere in Asia, not just Korea. Is it really? I like it. I like it a lot. All right, we got to go.
Yeah.
We got to go. Make sure you go say hello to our friends at TridayTrading.com. TridayTrading.com/Monty. Register for your free webinar. No obligation. Just go check it out. TridayTrading.com/Monty. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.